it's kind of looked at as a bit of a weaker counter to the iRON as well if you're able to cannon blast and slow it down. So you take that yourself, and now you can set things up.
Yeah, I mean, if we saw anything from Team Flash, obviously they do know how to get the pickoffs right. They do know how to orchestrate a bit of a comeback into a team fight that not necessarily they took the engage for. Like, they saw it, they rather than disengage, they thought, okay, bet, let's go blow for blow. And then they come back. So I do agree with your point there, Motsu being able to kind of set this up for either a pathway of Marshiranui or iRON in these team fights. But we are getting a little bit more sustained here onto the side of Buriram United. We have that Hu1 that's going to be looking to go into that mid lane.
Yeah, it's a perfect counter pick here because, again, the Mai is about the fast, aggressive blow-up, right? The glass cannon style. But you have the Yuan, which is the polar opposite. Yep. You're going to be very sustaining. You're able to out-heal. As long as you're able to withstand that initial burst, you're going to be able to kind of even out-heal him. So this is a great pickup for now.
But the problem is, you say initial burst. We do have a secondary burst here, which is obviously going to be the Chicha. So we now have potential of, if it doesn't work the first time, we have Chicha come through with the damage, and they now actually have a sufficient front line. This is the thing that they didn't have in game number 1 for Team Flash, was a sufficient front line, but now they have the Byron, they have the iRON. I feel like this is definitely a comp here that could get Flash a 1 point onto the board.
Definitely, definitely. And I mean, it definitely makes a lot more sense. It's way more balanced. They shore up a lot of the weaknesses, and they have, you know, from early to late game, you're kind of set. My only concern is that the range, the Chicha kind of limited. You don't have as much, right? Yes, the iRON will be there, but once they're hitting that mid mark, everybody with that range is going to be super, vulnerable, right? And so that's where, BRU need to kind of play around that, dance, if you will.
Yeah, speaking of dancing, obviously, like you said with the Chicha, you do kind of have to prep yourself before you go into a team fight, especially if you want to have that range. You got to stack up your passive, and then that's when obviously the burst potential does come through. Not quite as kind of like demand and go as the Marshiranui burst.
Yes, and as it looks like the players are about to load up into game 2. Must win, I say, right? Because if you're at the EWC, you lose 2 series, you are going home, unfortunately, from the play-ins. You don't have too much time to explore Paris, if you will.
I mean, depending on which airport they flew in, right? Obviously, there's an airport quite close by. Like, there is an airport quite close by. I made the mistake of flying in from CDG. Took me an hour to get here. I could have gone literally maybe 15 minutes max, but that's my bad preparation. So one can hope the Team Flash and Buriram United have better preparation in this game number 2.
Yeah, and I think that for both of these squads, this draft looks a little bit more 50-50 to me, right? You don't see one that is skewed one way or the other, but this is going to be about those team fights. If BRU is able to win one, especially with the setup that they have, you have the Dharma Truth, the Zhangfei Umbrella Outburst, and then you win that team fight, you're going to just start losing towers because this Agudo is going to be a problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of crowd control, absolutely. Crowd control, but I think the most scary thing is here, obviously, yes, we know iRON can do a lot of damage, but can you kind of out-damage the sustainability that the side of Buriram United have?
Yeah, it's all about this early game, and I love the way the Team Flash are playing right now. This is what they did not do, and now they're going in. Valdez getting a little bit low himself, but he's going to lose the red buff to start things off. A bit of a disaster for BRU to start this.
A bit of a Flash, a mob dance here from the side of Team Flash. A bit of a change-up, I would have to say myself. Very well greeted, well needed in this one, right? Because like Paula was saying literally moments ago, Team Flash didn't make these quick adaptations. It's looking very bad for them.
Not looking good. I mean, it's not over. It's still very early. We haven't even hit the 2-minute mark.
No.
But setting yourself up, those are the little wins that you need to really, compound your lead. And now BRU, they're going to do a little bit of pressure onto HOK as well.
HOK actually able to get out of there as well. We are seeing that the voting game is still going over to Buriram United here, so we do see a lot of fans for this team looking to try and round this one out for a nice, comfortable 2-0 for themselves. But I feel like for me, what's going to have to take a difference here for this game number 2 is Flash trying to get some early game kills. Like you said, try and compound that effect in the early game, get it into the late game.
Yeah, they didn't get out their first kill for quite some time. I mean, BRU were playing flawlessly, the positioning, and now even putting pressure here, HOK is coming out worse for wear here.
Yeah, definitely taking too much damage for my liking as well. Obviously, as we see, quite a bit of a compounding effect going on anyway, right? Like, we are seeing everything coming into that mid lane. We're seeing, obviously, the Spike-Tail Beast being taken off the side here. The pigs on for Buriram United. So you can already see the action and consequence going into the gold lead.
But did you see how Team Flash, again, they were taking boars away.
Yes.
They're being aggressive, and this is exactly what you want to do, especially in a lineup that needs to spike in that mid game. if you're having a terrible early game, but you're going to have a rough time. So again, you want to be aggressive. You have the timer, and now with this Crimson Golem, it looks like it's going to be started here. Taos is looking to take that away, but Valdez gets the smite.
Valdez does get the smite there. I mean, it's kind of looking like here Julius has got squatters' rights into the enemy's jungle, right? Like, he's just constantly like, you know what? I got the timer. I've got the key to your property. I'm going in there. I'm stealing what I need, and you can't stop me. But fortunately there for Valdez, this time around, he was able to successfully steal back his Crimson Golem, which now I feel like is the moment in time where Valdez may be able to try and gain a little bit more momentum for himself.
Yes, it's all about momentum here. And if we're looking at both sides right now, net worth, neck and neck. This is what we wanted to have seen, especially with these AOV squads. We knew it was going to be competitive because they're coming in almost from the same footing, if you will.
Yeah, something to prove as well, right? Like, this is a different battleground.
Yes.
Like, this is not their home. They are here, and they are looking to make a name for themselves. And definitely, right, so we haven't seen them go up against any HOK teams yet within KWC, but only time will tell how well they do. But currently, just looking a bit for tit for tat, right? Just trying to basically have a bit of a calm before the storm, before those neutral objectives get online in around about 20 seconds.
Yes, we're almost there, but to the point of kind of, you know, letting everyone understand the situation here. If you win this, you have a potential to make the groups, right?
Yeah.
And now Tofu, it looks like Julius is looking to go in, path of passing on. He finds it with the Conductor of Souls. It's going to be dodged out by the Unending Sorrow, but they get the pushback with the Ruin Gem, and they find it, but Julius, Gate went in too far. Rin is going to be picked off as well. 2 members down, and BRU weather the storm, and they take 2 themselves.
I feel like that was kind of like a Rin, like a chainsaw, right? But it wasn't aggressive enough for the side of Team Flash. He gets taken down. They don't bother going for the target. They're looking to make some plays, some monopoly on the gorge.
Yeah, actually, it didn't seem like they were completely in sync with one another. Like, Julius was a little too far up, hits the Conductor of Souls, tried to go for 2, but by that point, it's kind of you're not in a great spot in terms of that positioning. You want that when the team fight is already happening, everybody is completely grouped, and they BRU just completely dodged it here.
I feel like that's just the counter-engage potential of the side of BRU United, right? Obviously, using that Mournful Sorrow there, just able to keep himself alive, just meant that they dived in. They were in the Lion's Pit. I feel like Rim was probably, like you said, completely out of position there.
Yeah. I mean, the timing wasn't great. The way that they were going in, it was like one by one. They were kind of, you know, just putting themselves, you know, you got to go in together. You got to be in sync. You got to have that coordination. And BRU, the way that they were able to dodge that, again, this is why they're looking to be an incredibly scary team here at the EWC.
Scary team here at KWC. Scary team here into the mid lane.
It looks like they find Tofu. They actually pick him off with an Umbrella Outburst, and BRU are going to be so happy with that.
Oh, absolutely. Happy and more, right? Obviously able to get a bit of damage onto the mid lane, create a bit of priority, just kind of give themselves a little bit more room to get a bit more reactive, right? Because that's what the problem was in that early game.
Yes.
They weren't able to react because they didn't count on Team Flash invading in the jungle.
Yeah, did not expect it, but now that net worth lead completely shifted in favor of BRU. This is a huge situation, and now the Overlord, that is going to stem a little bit of the bleeding for Flash.
I feel like I'm watching the stock market here with that gold, you know? Like, we saw in the early game, it was kind of fluttering up and down, but definitely put your money on BRU United here. But we are seeing a lot more Monopoly being taken away by Team Flash. It seems like a little bit of a rinse and repeat of game number 1, which is a problem here. It's just taking BRU a little bit more time to get into this position.
Perfect disengage. They had that vision, BRU that was, but Taos didn't have enough madness to get that ult off. So they were like, okay, we can't team fight. We need to get out of this. They lose nothing. They take what they can from the jungle on their way out. Very smart play, even when you're looking to just retreat.
Yeah, you are playing the offensive, but defensively, right? You don't want to kind of get too greedy here if you're BRU United. Once again, a very kill game so far. 6 minutes in, 3 kills onto the board here. But that's not what's important. It's about creating that
nice blast
bot side.
Oh, the Kachusin as well, but the Aerostorm just zoning them away. Team Flash, a good attempt, right? That's the kind of setup that you're looking for, but they actually find Taos sticking around a little bit. They have the Cannon Blast onto him, but they're not going to continue on. It looks like BRU, again, just dodging most of the attacks by Team Flash.
I think this is the beauty of obviously the Motsu, like we're saying in the draft, right? You're able to use that Cannon Blast from a very safe distance, disengage for your teammates, kind of almost like a second chance card, get out of jail.
And that's the biggest problem, right? I think that the way that they've been able to kind of set things up, but BRU, again, just dodging most of it. They're mitigating most of what he brings.
Yeah. Top side of the map is definitely not being mitigated here by the side of Flash with that minion wave coming through, but it is going to be answered here by Rin. I feel like Rin needs to be out of these team fights.
Outburst, it looks like it's going to connect. They tried to go on Pac. The Aerostorm is going to do some damage. They find Tofu, the nice little knock-up as well. Ooh. They have a little bit of control. Yaw is not something on the shield. He too will fall. It looks like 2 members down from Team Flash.
Byron shouldn't be melting that quick, you know? Like, there is some serious net worth going into the damage carries here onto the side of Burium United. He fell too quick to flash in from Nunu, just driving them away, looking just to kind of just help themselves in their own jungle, pay back Team Flash from that early game play.
Licky's starting to become a little bit of a problem. Actually, the highest net worth on the squad right now with 5.7, 5.8, a little bit of a wash with Valdez, but Valdez has been able to get that wild growth. They've taken the mid T1, and it's all about that push from BRU's lineup.
Yeah, I think once again, we're just looking at Burium United are very comfortable with these junglers that kind of already set themselves up in level 4, right? They're not really relying on itemization, even though obviously Agudo, Furball gets that on-hit effect from the itemization here, depending on how you build. But it's all about just creating that momentum, able to create that early game desirability for yourself.
Yes, and it looks like Team Flash using that, all of that to kind of counter the movements, right? They need to push themselves. They're going to take the bottom T1. BRU not in position, but they're in your jungle. They're looting and pillaging everything.
It's kind of like knocking on your door, right? They're like, they are looking for repossessing your goods. Like, they was like, right, okay, you owe us money. You owe us that early game money that you stole from us. And we see here, Burium United are taking that away. T1, top side of the map, does get taken away here. Just see Nunu just creating that area of space, that area of safety for Burium United here with that long-range CC.
A lot of respect given by Team Flash here. They've actually had to kind of retreat into the mid T2, which is going down. The Umbrella Outburst just zoning them away. Team Flash right now, they are caught left wanting, not able to find anything on BRU.
Hello.
I mean, looking at where we are in terms of obviously their team comp, right? We see Rin not quite doing too well here. He's kind of having to be into the side lanes, looking to try and scrap any kind of resources he can get for himself, just to try and get that mid to late game activation here. And I feel like the same is the problem for Julius, right? We're looking at carries, we're looking at them having to... They need the gold, right? Yes. Like, that's the problem here.
I mean, he's trying, but there's no space. They're going in. Nice little revenge and finding him back, but is not able to get it. And Yo has that force field suppression. He's taking most of this. He's still Byron at the end of the day. He does survive.
Survives this time. Obviously, last time we saw him, he was literally cut through like a hot knife through butter. But this time around, he's definitely looking a little bit more tanky now. But we do have to keep obviously an eye on obviously common skills, right? Because we know that High Duck is not going to be making those engages because they don't have those flashes on.
Does not. But they have the cannon blast, and with that arrow.
Match bracket, guys. First BO3 and after that BO7 final matches and qualifier matches also. So we're gonna support Team India, but Team India teams are not start yet. So watch this game. After that we have to
Julius, he wants to go for this one. Cannot give
this
one.
Prepare
He
for
gets control. He gets knocked down over the wall. It doesn't even matter. And they take the Tyrant. BRU are starting to roll.
They are rolling. I mean, they need to, right? Baldus, that's one of his main things within his kit. He needs to roll about, get across the gorge pretty quickly, but like you said, snowball effect here. Tyrant takedown. T2 takedown into the mid lane, just really open up the base here of Team Flash.
A nice team, by the way.
Slow roll it, right? I mean, you have that Agudo. This is a huge problem right now. Yep. Now, I mean, this is a lineup, Team Flash, that needs that mid game. They have not even achieved it. Oh, I mean, timing-wise, we're there, but their net worth is not there, so they're not able to overcome this huge net worth differential of 6K.
Correct. They're not scaling correctly with time, right? They are literally just trying to kind of like stem the bleeding at this point. They have to just make sure that they're playing a good defense. Obviously, they do have the T2 top side of the map there, so they could kind of try and play around that, you know, like try and get pressure onto Burium United's top side of the map, the Clash lane there, and then try and maybe go for the Overlord, because it seems like neither of these teams are going to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, the positioning is flawless. They haven't lost a single member. The way that they're able to, again, they slow siege, they see numbers, and then they're like, okay, we have an advantage, let's go. And they take things out. They take all of the space that's given to them, and BRU with yet another tower in that top lane.
They are looking to try and get that T3, but I mean, nice pressure here down bot side. This is going to correlate to obviously the Shadow Overlord. If you want to go for it.
It defines it, but Liggy's going to be on back. They've already taken the top T3. The Unending Sorrow tries to go for the back line, but he will fall. Nunu just way too deep. Julius gets stunned up. No control. BRU looking to end this game, and they will take this first series at the EWC.
Absolute show-stopping there for Buriram United. They look contested in the early game. We thought Team Flash was going to do a number on them, but no, Buriram called the helpline and they were able to turn that one around. Buriram United looking feisty in KWC 2026. We have to obviously throw it over to the experts. Let's see what their breakdown is of this game.
What a way to start. You can see it right over there. Sportsmanship before anything. Buriram United Esports with a 2-0 win against Team Flash is going to move into the upper bracket. Congratulations to the boys in blue.
One more series and Buriram makes it to the official main event of our KWC 2026. And that was Kin. An absolute domination of a performance coming in from Buriram United Esports.
It's just total dominance for that one. I mean, we take a look at the later parts of the game, right? Yeah. It's the last potential fight, game-winning moment. The Mai gets a huge knockup onto two of the different members on the side of Team Flash. But the damage, the life bars did not go down at all.
Of course, because there was not an actual advantage in terms of items, in terms of gold. There's nothing in there. Let's just try to figure it out. Where did that happen? Where does this come from? Team Flash at the 345 marker. Right before the Tyrant, they decided to go and engage into a fight that I did not see like a good decision. The Ogren jumps in. Then right after that, the Tricha jumps in, but then was not damaged. And then right before the 4 minutes Tyrant, I did not imagine that that could be a good decision.
It was very similar to game one, right? Where it's always around that specific timer here, where I think, yes, Team Flash may have a bit of a miss up on those plays, but you have to also prize Buriram United Esports, where they capitalize on these mistakes really, really well.
I want to out year for you on the Byron. We were talking about this. His first item was not the Pure Sky, actually went for the Frost Sky Embrace. I like the idea of it. You get the slow. They want to have the team, you know, come on a 5-man jump onto the potential target, right? But that was not going to be the case when they're behind on gold. Another thing I want to pay attention to is Chicha. The Chicha pick is a great pick, but it's a very late game pick.
Of course.
And throughout the first 7 minutes of the game, Rin was at the T1s on the top side, bottom side, but they could not take a T1. And Buriram, in that moment, took 6 turrets.
And just in terms of that, like you can see how Buriram United Esports had a little bit more of a preparation, a little bit more in depth, I would dare to say, just compared to their counterparts of Team Flash. The way that they just played the game, they came with a very clear plan, and I believe that this is what the other teams are going to be taking notes on. Their game is not about fighting. Their game is about turret destruction. They come in with the 2 picks that they had.
Truth mantras in, and the truth really did hurt on this one.
We know that this is a team sport, that we understand how everything is going to be about, like all the teammates pushing in. But it's important just to understand that some of them just shine a little bit brighter than the rest. When you think about Buriram United Esports, who do you think was like the biggest star in this 5-man formation?
Nunu.
You should have waited, we should have counted, and then we're going for Nunu, because I had Nunu as well. Okay, you know, we'll work on our teamwork, but it's okay. This is the Buriram gameplay, right? You go first, and I'll back you up.
I think I agree with you guys in terms of Nunu. Nunu in both games was ideal for any team, just being able just to deal the damage, to just be able to just protect as well. Well, what about if we go on stage and we try to see and hear a little bit more from the players? Mara, take it from here. Let's see exactly what's going on there.
From the winning team, Buriram United, we're here with Nunu, the mid laner. Congratulations! And how was that you received the very first match win here at EWC? How is that for your confidence? How is the team's mindset right now?
ก่อนอื่นเลยนะฮะก็ขอแสดงความยินดีด้วยนะฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับที่ตอนนี้เนี่ยเราคว้าชัยชนะแรกของทัวร์นาเมนต์ EWC มาแล้วฮะ
ดีใจครับเพิ่งมาเล่นด้วยครับก็แมตช์แรกก็สนุกครับ
Yep, I'm very happy and excited that we already achieved the first victory and like we are very happy to be here to Paris.
And one thing we were really happy about, you used the new AOV collab hero Lorian in the mid lane. They're the very first team to use that in EWC. Now, Lorian has a really long stun, and when you get your opponent, well, it's a guaranteed success for you, especially when you were getting the farm laner in game 1. How much fun was using Lorian, our new AOV hero collab, for your first match?
มาพูดถึงในตอนเกมแรกบ้างนะฮะเราหยิบลอเรียนมานะฮะซึ่งเป็นฮีโร่ที่เป็นคอลลาบอเรชันกับทาง AOV นะฮะเนื่องจากว่าตัวนี้เนี่ยมีสตันที่ค่อนข้างเป็นเวลานานเลยทีเดียวเมื่อเราเนี่ยว่าแลนด์สตันได้แล้วเนี่ยค่อนข้างจะเป็นการการันตีได้เลยทีเดียวมีความคิดเห็นยังไงบ้างครับ
ก็รู้สึกว่ามันแตกต่างกับเกม AOV ที่ผมเล่นครับเพราะว่าโลออนเกมนี้ก็จะเหมือนกึ่งโป๊กนิดนึงครับเพราะว่าสกิลเขาค่อนข้างแรงครับ
Yeah, so Lorian in this game is kind of a bit of different from the AOV that he has been played because it's like in this game it's kind of semi-poke.
But you know, we really enjoyed watching you. How about some tips for everybody watching looking to use this new hero Lorian in the rank game? So would you like to suggest for them any tips for the rank?
ก็ขอ1ทิปให้กับแฟนๆที่ดูจากทั่วโลกหน่อยฮะว่าเวลาเล่นลอเรียนเนี่ยมีทิปอะไรบ้างครับ
ก็ถ้าเป็นของเกมนี้ก็พยายามโป๊ก่อนครับแล้วก็พอศัตรูเขาเข้ามาพลาดเราก็อันตีสวนไป
So for this game just try to poke the enemy like as much as you can and like so when you saw that alright the HP of the enemy is like low enough just all in your ultimate skill.
Great, for sure. More people are going to use that, and we're so proud with your first win. How about send a message to everybody watching from Thailand? What would you like to say to all your supporters?
มีข้อความอะไรอยากจะฝากถึงแฟนๆชาวไทยบ้างครับ
ก็ฝากเชียร์พวกผมด้วยครับพวกผมจะทำให้เต็มที่ครับผม
Yeah, so thank you so much everyone for keep supporting us and like hope you guys will keep like supporting us till the end.
Job well done once again. Congratulations, Nunu. Congratulations to Buriram United. And now we're going to head over to the casters. Lead the gorge.
Thank you very much, Mara. Thank you very much, Nunu. You can hear it over there in the background. The people are enjoying this a lot. As a person who has been working on HOK already for so many years, I'm going to tell you, lads, I am extremely happy of seeing this match 1 going the way that it went. Because this is the main idea about this KWC 2026, expanding our family, making the ecosystem richer, and make everyone just to understand from different angles, with different heroes, with different players, how our game can become richer and richer and richer.
And richer also comes in the form of pick and bans, right? Where you have AOV heroes coming in. We've seen in that game just now, Florentino, permaban.
Yes.
Not allowing anyone to play it. That is a very, very strong hero. And then you have the things like Lorian, which has had an amazing performance coming in from Nunu. And we have yet to see Annette yet, but I was pretty surprised when Julius picked up the butterfly in that game 1. He had some pretty good moments here, but at the end of the day, it's a team game. And I think this time around in this upper bracket semifinals, I feel that specifically for the side of Buriram, they did better.
They definitely did. And of course, the tips from Nunu, right? This is very important, right? If there's low health, just get it poked. But of course, let's poke the bear a little bit. Let's go to Isaac.
You know what? I am extremely excited for this game. I'm really looking forward for match number 2. Before we do that, what about if we go for a little break, and then after that, match number 2 is going to be
Okay. Hi, Bata. Hello. বলছি ডাউনলোড করতে পারছি না কেন ইমেজগুলো আমার একটু ইস্যু হচ্ছে না কেন ডাউনলোড হচ্ছে না হ্যাঁ আচ্ছা বাইরে আমাকে একটা কথা বল ঠিক আছে ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে ফার্স্ট একটা দুটো পেজ আমাকে করতে বললো তাই তো ফার্স্ট একটা দুটো পেজ বলতে স্টেপ নাম্বার 1 স্টেপ নাম্বার 2 আর স্টেপ নাম্বার 3 স্টেপ নাম্বার 4 হ্যাঁ 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 got it, got it. হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা আচ্ছা এইগুলো তো হয়েই গেছে অলরেডি জাস্ট ঠিক আছে আমি করে দিচ্ছি আমি টেস্ট করে যাবো ঠিক আছে আমার লাইফ স্টোরি চলছে এখন এদিকে ভিউ আসছে লোক কাছে কথা বলতে পারছি না আমাদের ফেস ক্যাম স্টার্ট হয়ে গেছে কথা বলতে পারছিলাম না রিস্টার্ট করেছি পিসি এই হচ্ছে ল্যাপটপ ব্যস্ত ঠিক আছে আমি করছি ঠিক আছে রাখলাম আমি কোনো অসুবিধা হলে ফোন করবো তো একটু ধরিস ঠিক আছে আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it
hello guys what's up
it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city.
so India team are gonna play soon so let's hope for the best
Play.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the KWC 2026. We're live from Paris, France, and we're enjoying it and really liking the energy and everything that is going on right now. We just watched match number 1 and it ended up with Buriram United Esports making it forward into the upper bracket. Now, we're going to jump into our match number 2. For our match number 2, we're going to have two teams that we all have known from before. Influence Rage against Seoul Esports. These are going to be the two teams that are right now just getting ready on stage for us to bring in here the main ideas and the main action of the game.
For these two teams, right, I feel for Seoul Esports, they are a very new region as a whole, right? Where they just joined the region not new long ago, and then coming in for their first tournament, it's already KWC here in Paris, France. So, Blam, if you were to look at SAUL, how would you rate them?
I mean, if there's anyone to give them a warm welcome, it's definitely Influence Rage, right? Obviously, we have had the Chalk BR teams here since 2024, but Seoul Esports, I definitely feel like they have something to prove, just like we just saw in the last games from Buriram United as well as Team Flash. This is now their time to shine, try and get themselves into the upper bracket.
I'm telling you, man, I think that these two teams are playing for completely different things. And that is one of the beauty about this. The people that you can see over there on your screen, SHUL Esports, Seoul Esports, they're fighting just to write the first page of Indian Honor of Kings storyline onto the KWC with really golden letters.
Now, I don't mean to be someone who will like to discourage teams, but I feel that the direction coming in from the Indian region, the Kings Arise the runner-up here, which is SAUL, it's to learn as much as you can, adapt in towards it, and see how far you can realistically go. Because your opponents here, Influence Rage, it comes with Chalk BR.
Influence Rage is one of those teams that they're really looking forward just to show us that the South American HOK scene are real contenders in the international stage. We've had them for a long time. These people with experience, but up until right now, not yet a big tournament win.
Not big tournament winner, but if you look at them as a region as a whole, they've always been top 8.
Yes.
Like, that's a beautiful thing. If you've been to so many KWCs and you've reached top 8, that's very impressive for your region.
But we need to just kind of like just make that step forward, right? Like top 8 was a great first start, but it's been already so many years. We want to see one of the Chalk BR teams really make it to top 4, to make it to the finals. Wouldn't that be actually really interesting to watch?
Exactly, right? I mean that Chalk BR, like you mentioned, right? In terms of HOK's history, all the way from KIS1 into KIS2 into currently the world stage, they have been, I would say, on a slow run down where they look good at the start, but as the global infrastructure starts improving, they need to find more ways to prove themselves. Like, they have what it takes to actually contend for the top spots here. Like Alpha 7 Gaming from last year, they actually made top 8. And who was in that roster? You have Fury, you have players like Danny who led that roster here. So coming in towards this play-ins here, it's their stepping stone for a greater success.
Let's spotlight that a little bit, right? Because we just mentioned Danny. When you think about Chalk BR, you're always thinking about the same man. And this is going to be a real good moment for Danny just to prove that, right? Like, it's going to be a completely new team, a new roster. Can he really just play to the level that he needs to play in this KWC 2026?
I really think so, because I mean, last year we kind of like doubted him as just a solo tank jungler, but then this time around, obviously last year, he proved to us, he was like, right, we can be the assassins, we can play the game.
Well, we will have to wait and see exactly what we're going to do. Let's wait and see exactly what is going to happen. We are going to have Influence Rage against SAUL Esports. These are going to be the players. This is going to be the teams. Ken, Caller, what do you guys have in mind?
Right? I think that for this one, it really sets the tone of the rest of how the Group A is going to be. We saw the first 2 teams already, especially in terms of this AOV squads, but now a lot of pressure on both of these ones, especially for, I mean, is it Seoul Esports? Like, who has more pressure on them?
I would definitely think it's the reverse. It has to be Influence Rage, right? Because we have players like Danny, or Donnie as we like to call him. He has experience in AOV as well. He should know what's coming under the covers of that punch.
Yes, definitely so. And I think that for him, in terms of experience on the international stage, he probably has the most throughout the entire, both of the squads here, right? So I think that for looking into this one, Danny is probably the guy.
And also, the history of this, when the Brazil teams came in, they got first place in their competitions. This is SAUL's first ever international competition. Can they repeat the results as well? We're going to see, because the first pick is going to be the Zhangfei, one of the biggest tanks in the game. This is going to be really important because they have a lot of health bars as well as a lot of damage on the side of SAUL.
Good, a great, couple of picks to kind of set things up. SAUL, especially with his Flobo Marksman, you're really setting things up for Keltizi to really get going. He wants that type that needs that range, and Flobo Marksman hits all of those parts.
Ooh, this one hurts me in the gut. I mean, the Lorian, we've already seen this in the first series of the day, and that's a lot of damage, a lot of CC, more importantly, because 2 seconds is a long time in the Honor of Kings. Whoa. But add that in, we have the Guan Yu coming in for the side lane. with the Zhangfei. So what? This is like 4 seconds of CC?
Yes, a lot of control. And I mean, with that Lorian, which you rightly pointed out, a lot of it is going to revolve around that. We were expecting going in, there was going to be a moment where Lorian would be insta-banned almost every single game. Obviously, very early. Second series of the day. And we've already seen it in the first one where it was completely dominant in that first game.
Yes, and of course, the biggest surprise to me is that they did not pick up the Florentino. So Florentino is open for the taking, but it will not show, right? Unless someone wants to play in the jungle, which shouldn't be the case. But with that being said, the Lapu Lapu comes in as the final pick before the second half bans come in. Now that's a lot of tankiness, a lot of physical and magical defense coming in from the Lapu.
This is a
passive.
best
This is going to
match
help
I
out
got.
SA.UL's draft so far. With a Byron Mega Shields and the full-on marksman is going to be a very important pick here. He's a shredder from his team.
Definitely so. And there's a lot of tinky guys, so it's definitely going to be something that they're looking to do. Let KLTZ get going, right? On the same side, if we're looking at both of them, you rightly pointed out, very tanky. A lot of those big stuns to set things up in the first phase of the draft here. But now I think they need to really show up, get more damage on the board, if you will.
Yeah, definitely need to. My biggest question now is, okay, look, top lane is still available for the picks on the side of Influence Rage, but a lot of the useful ones, like the Arnie, Direntia, as well as the Army and the Loom have been taken out. Lupan is great, but Lupan is very immobile.
Yes, definitely. That's a huge problem, right? Right now, it's about mobility. Being able to kind of, when those teamfights are about to happen, especially with the Guan Yu lurking around in the wings, Lapu Lapu is going to be looking to set things up himself with the Byron as backup. You got to kind of make sure you have the right angles.
It's so difficult. You know what hero comes to mind? I like the Garo. She does a great job at shredding the shields. Plus, 50% damage on shielded targets. That could be the answer here, but once again, mobility is an issue. They need help. Hopefully, the Guan Yu, the Zhangfei, and the will be able to assist and provide the space needed.
Yes, and now with this Lady Jeanne here to kind of set things up in the mid game. Again, a lot of the stuns. This is even more pressure on KLTZ to perform. He goes down, they're going to lack a lot of damage.
For sure. And you know what? I'm hoping for the skin coming in
So
on this Lady Jeanne pick, but we'll take a look at what the final portions of this BP will be. Influence Race, they're going to set the stage. They need the jungler, they need the farm laner, and they need to be able to shred. They have the CC, they have the control, they have the movement as well. They need the final answer here.
My problem is I'm not a huge fan of this 4 Protect 1 lineup, right? I think that, oh, okay, well, there you go. They're going to get to the back line. This is one way to do it. But I do think if we're talking about, overall team fights, they have a lot of control to deal with this Jing that's going to potentially jump to that back line.
Okay, you know what? The mirror is broken. That's not going to be a good sign here for the side of Influence Rage. But if there's any team to pull this off, Donnie in the jungle on a Jing. I don't remember seeing him play this hero too many times. But we also have Leffy on the channel. Can the Brazil squad bring themselves to the next stage of KWC play-ins?
I love how Influence Rage drafted this, right? They were like, okay, who is our star player? Danny, right? Let's set things up so that we ensure that we get a hero that he's going to love to play. It's going to be all or nothing in terms of just how this hero is able to kind of, get his farm and to do that damage. It's all in right now on the Danny train.
Okay, and we also, we had a very short moment with both coaches just now. And on the side of SAUL, they predicted a 2-0 scoreline for the series.
Okay.
So I want to see if that comes true. On the other hand, for Kaiba, he's coming in. There is a big expectation. They need to dominate at this play-ins for the KWC 2026.
Yeah, and I think as Influence Rage, you want to be like, okay, hello, welcome to the international stage. We will smack you down. I think that would be best case scenario for them. SAUL, obviously, they want to perform. If they're able to take the first 5-10 minutes and get an edge, that would be a huge win in terms of confidence, morale, and really sticking it to Influence Rage.
That's the dream, right? But this is the international stage, and this is their first time on the international stage.
Right.
For Influence Rage is the complete opposite. They have been here multiple times. They have experienced the tension, the energy as well of the crowd. I want to see how this affects both teams.
Yes, I think that's going to be the biggest piece. As we go to the second series of the day, we're going to go to game number 1 to see exactly Influence Rage, SAUL Esports, how they do this one. Because again, if we're talking about draft, though, who are you giving the edge to?
I actually like the side of Influence Rage a little bit more, but simply because there is a potential for flashy and very confusing intense moments that will be brought over to the side of SAUL. So if they don't know how to deal with this, SAUL might fall in this first game.
Yes. all about space, space, space. I can't speak more of it because Keltizi is the guy. He's 100%. Are they able to kind of get on point? He needs to stay alive, ensure that he gets as much time with the solo experience as he's getting in this bottom lane. This is what they want to do in terms of just kind of setting him up for success.
Easier said than done, because at this point, China, with the Soul of the Wolves as well, it kind of dilutes the value of a flowborn marksman pick, because yes, you can pierce your targets, but if they're all at different angles, you can't get the amount of wave clear speed that you want.
Yes, and now it looks like at the same time, Influence Rage, I mean, this, if they're able to kind of limit what KLTZ is going, that's going to open things up for Danny, right? And if we're trying to talk about space, about who can really carry, Danny's the guy.
It has to be, and the Ching is a big pick here. They need this lady in the mirror domain and dimension to be able to shine, and this is going to be the first big objective we're talking about, right? The goal lead. Can they get the EXP and the goal lead over to the side of Danny? Because if they can't, then SA8UL, Kong is going to show him a world of hurt.
Yeah, Kong is definitely the guy that needs to step up, right? Make sure, I would like it if SAUL were to be aggressive and to take away some of those Azure Golems, because you take away that blue buff, Danny's not going to be able to farm as much as he would like.
Yeah, and you know what? Farming is definitely going to be important. They're going to open it up. I don't think it's too much. Actually, Kong doesn't really care. He goes back in.
Yeah, not scared. He's actually fighting 1 versus 3 because he knows that reinforcements are on the way. Meta taking most of the damage. He has the Leaping Savior just to stay alive. But SAUL, again, this is what you want to do. You want to pick, poke, prod, whatever you can do, and put pressure on Influence Rage.
I like this confidence, right? You have to have it at this point.
Oh, nice little stun, though. They flash away Extreme, just staying alive. Doofy had his back, though.
Okay, so 2 minutes cooldown, 120 seconds for the flash. Yeah. That's a good skill to take out, common spell to take out from the side of SAUL. Right. But it's on the extreme. The ladies, and she can play from far, so it doesn't really matter that much at this point.
Definitely doesn't really matter. I mean, Extreme is the type where he's kind of like the secondary support, right? He doesn't have to get those items. Maybe you get the Venomous Staff, but nice little control. They find Fury, the Leaping Savior, the shields are on point. Fury looking to limp away, but now here comes the Razor Cavalry on the back. Tempest with a nice play, but Kong is going to go down. They find Extreme as well, and SAUL have to just limp away with 2 members down.
We are afraid of the Tempest Dragon. No, you need to be afraid of the Tempest Guan Yu. This is the one that hurts one more.
Yeah, KLTZ flashing away, just trying to just pick and prod with Leffy on this one, who again created a lot of that space. Now this bottom T1 is under siege.
And this one hurts, because right now this means he's missing out on the minion EXP and gold. This is not looking good for KLTZ as well. Now we take a look at the goal lead, right? Close to 3,000.
Oh, nice little stun. Oh, Doofy finds Leffy. He tried to soaring signal back to safety, but he got caught out. The charge is just too much from Doofy.
Not the kind of peekaboo that Leffy wants to. And you know, the fact he came from the left, that was great.
Leffy, as he goes into this one. Now, I mean, that's going to be a huge win for that. But now, if we're talking about how they want to play this one out, Doofy, nice little control, finding 2 members in the brush. But again, it was more of just impeding the ambush attempt.
Yes, it is. And right now, this laning phase is, I think, even Stevens for now, but the goalie's definitely in the side of Influence Rage. And 4 minutes, Doofy hiding alone here.
Oh, he's all by himself, but there's 3 members that tried to go on. Good. This is great in terms of that spacing, right? Doofy took a lot of that damage, and now it's going to set up for this Tyrant. Oh, now they find him. Doofy getting a little bit too low, the Raging Sea, but he's going to be picked off. Kong is too low himself, and they find 3 members. Influence Rage are starting to create that space.
Exactly what you want. The important members, they're all gone. The tank, Doofy is gone. KLTZ, your farmland is gone. Your jungle, Kong is gone as well. And SAUL, they need to find a recovery point because Danny has already secured the first timer of the game. 30 seconds in, not what you want to see.
It kind of started with Doofy, right? He was kind of initially got a little bit too low, and when the actual was happening, he was kind of just taken down. You need his CCs, you need him to kind of cycle through his skills. Was not able to do it because it was just a little too low at the beginning of that fight.
I mean, he was just doing his job, right? He wanted to get the vision for the team, but now that simple change has made life a lot more difficult. Influence Rage, they're looking for the target in the mid lane. If the T1 falls here, it's going to be a difficult one to fight back. 5k goal difference is not something you can come back from easily.
I mean, it's 1k starting to grow with every minute that's happening, right? I mean, we're only 5 minutes into this one. Kong just trying to keep his Crimson Golem alive, or, you know, the buff away for himself. He does does take that, but SAUL right now, they are absolutely reeling. They need to calm down, find ways to get back into this.
Okay, I mean, it felt like you were telling me to calm down because it was looking kind of scary for Kong at this point. 0-2-0, no assists, no kills, 2 deaths. This is not where you want to be at this point.
Do not. And look at how Influence Rage completely zoning them away. They've kind of just, springboarded past that T1 mid to push them further back. SAUL right now, they're starting to group up together, and that is a losing proposition.
Yes, when it rains, a pause for this one, because now the jungle is getting taken away. You don't get the EXP from the lanes anymore. You don't get the EXP. Here we go.
They dive on this one. They find Kong, who has to roll on back, but the Razor Cavalry, the pushback is unreal by Tempest. Miriam is solo himself. He's starting to limp away, but Influence Rage have already taken a huge opening with 2 members down. They're going to take the bottom T3 as well.
Okay, what's the call here? Do we go in for more? Because there is no more Extreme, there's no more Kong. They have the 2 tanks left. Kilteezy actually right now is a very, very crucial positioning. If they can take Kilteezy down, there is no defense.
There's absolutely no defense. I mean, he's the guy that needs to just do the wave clearing. He needs to get that farm. But again, if we're talking about space and XP, he's just overall, he's fallen really behind. Leffy has a 2-level advantage over him.
He also has a 2,000 gold advantage. It's 2 for 2 at this point. And you know what? 7-1 in terms of the kill score. It's looking all Brazil at this point.
It is, definitely so. I mean, they're taking everything. I mean, they can't even get to their own Crimson Golem because of the fact that they've been zoned away. Influence Rage playing this one phenomenally here as they've completely thrown them away.
And they play this really safely, right? Both Crimson buffs, one on Fury, one on Leffy. The big pokes, they don't even need Danny to jump in. He doesn't have to.
By the way, match format is BO3 in a group stage versus BO7 in playoffs, guys. So viewers, understand this. It's like each stage, guys. So you guys have to understood this. BO7 playoffs se hi hoga, and this is a very good match. And we should be proud of it because India playing right now. And
are starting to do some serious damage. He pushes away, zoned them out. The top T3 look at just like that.
I don't know, but they're gonna obviously come back, bro. The cold difference is 10k around.
This is a hard defense for SAUL, and it's not going to end anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hard or impossible at this stage, right? Oh, they go in, they find him and kill Teasy just like that.
Oh, nice.
Be killed, and they find him, they push him back as well.
They're playing well, bro.
But the crystal is open, they're going to take it, 1 down. Influence Rage up, game number 1.
Big moments for the side of Influence Rage, and it was a rager. This is where Kaiba
first
wanted
match
to have happen. He has been waiting for this moment on the international stage for a long time.
And now it looks like, I mean, they're going to be so happy with that, how that one played out. SAUL, on the other hand, kind of, this is a bit of a wake-up call. It's not the end of the world. It's just 1 game, but they need to find ways to bounce back in this one.
I mean, okay, it's just 1 game, right? It doesn't matter if you lose at this stage that much, you still have a second life. But ideally, you want to be able to make it last faster.
And INF is going to take that first victory. It was an 8 minutes match. They came in and then just in a very supreme and very superior fashion, they came in and they took in the victory. Lads, break it down for everyone, please.
इंडिया से 2 टीम्स आ रहा है गया है ऑलरेडी RNTX and Stone. So this is whether IGL Spring 26 Team Vitality, Team MNS and OG Esports, AGAL. So Esports पे अभी mostly सारे teams अच्छे हैं, but still they are doing well. And India gonna come back soon, guys. This is a BO3 match. Waiting for the next match, guys. So ready?
When they have Influence Rage, Chuck BR, that's been going since what, 2022. There is a wealth of more experience there for Influence Rage.
And you could see just in the main difference when we were talking about Danny, right? Like Danny in here, he comes in with the Jim pick. He's the person that opens the game.
Jumping is a very good
for Influence Rage, right? Like they come in the 4th minute. The Jing, just the initiation over there in the blue zone. It is what makes everything just turn around. What about if we just go for a quick break? When we come back, it's gonna be game number 2 of this match number 2.
So some And see, guys, Seoul is much better team. So obviously they're gonna come back.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Yep. बोल रहा हूँ कि जो स्टेट पार्टनर कितने अदर स्टेट्स हैं उसमें तो मुझे 10 एक ही इमेज में दिखाया गया तो उसको डिवाइड करके जूम जूम करके दिखा देने से तो चल जाएगा ना हाँ अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है ओके बाय बाय কেন না অফিসের কাজ করছি এদিকে লাইভ স্ট্রিম চলছে আমি জানি না কেন একবারে বলো না ভাই কেন আসলে তো ভালোই হয় Bruh.
Welcome back. This is the KWC 2026. Let's go back to Influence Rage against Seoul Esports. In that game number 1, I do believe that the key for Influence Rage to be able to take the victory was their awareness of the map and the way that they were zoning out their opponents in all of the different lanes, right?
I feel like it's a very good point, right? Where you have the Unbridled Outburst coming in from Maina, and also Tempest coming in from the back with that Guan Yu's ultimate here, which actually limited a lot of space coming in from the side of SAUL to find those early game markers here. Yes, you want to play the double marksman composition like what Buriram did, but in the end, if you can't get the early game going, laning phase jungle, you're just gonna get sandwiched by that double engage.
It's not going to work out, right? Like, because at the end of the day, like, you need to be able to have an advantage if you want to play with that double marksman composition, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to play with that double marksman conversation, you then gonna try and like create that space for yourself, right? But then, like you said, if you got the Guan Yu just pushing you into the jingle, it's kind of just like, where's your space? You've not got it. If you don't know where to be, we're gonna force you into that right place.
They did have at the beginning of the game, they had one opportunity just to take that first blood that might have just turned things around. Like, it would have actually just made everyone just feel a lot better with themselves and could actually turn the game around. But they couldn't just capitalize out of that.
And especially when you talk about these moments here where you are losing not only by draft, you're also losing by team fights here. So it's really difficult for the players on the side of SAUL to realistically find a footing for those proper team fights.
And there we go. Obviously, they need to find the proper team fights. I feel like Solar Esports just definitely need to kind of just go back to what they know. Trust Kong maybe lean into that a little bit more in terms of the experience that he has for the team. But it's all there for them to show now. This is their showcase. Do they go to the lower bracket or do they fight for the upper bracket? Casters, they need to tell the story.
They're gonna have to just tell us the story of what is going on in here. Take it from here, lads.
Yeah, thank you so much as we go into game number 2 to find the draft. For me, it seemed like it was too much of an all.
It's too much actually.
Especially with this flowborn marksman, I feel like you need to balance it out, right? I think that you can't put too much pressure on one guy. Everybody needs to step up.
Yeah, it needs to be a balance in terms of who gets the resources, how do we distribute the resources for this. And at this point, I think, you know what, at least in game 1, Kong, I felt, did a decent job of trying to resolve the situation, but time was not on their side.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have much time when the spacing is going to be completely taken away, right? There was that initial fight where 3 members got killed right before the Tyrants. That was a bit of a disaster in terms of a start. You need to kind of come out 50-50. Maybe you contest, take that away. They were not able to do so.
I mean, this is one of the things, right? They were pretty tanky, but they only had 2 points of damage realistically, right? One from the Gudo, the other from the Flowborn Marksman. So at this point, once again, we're going to re-explore the BPs. Lianpo is going to be a big pick. Zhang Fei is going to be a big pick. These are the big tanks, right? No more Lapu Lapu for them on the side of S8 UL. I'm wondering if they want to go for utility roams instead.
I think it makes sense, right? But I think that for me, maybe you let Kong not just play like the tanky style junglers, but let him fly too. Let him play like the Jing, Luna, those styles, right? They are aggressive. Let them play, again, use his advantage to create space. Now KLTZ will have a much easier game.
Okay, I like the idea of that, but it's kind of a difficult position to be in because right now they're just going to start up with the Chicha. Chicha, as you all know, flex pick can be played in the farm, can be played in the clash, can be played in the jungle. So I like this movement from SAUL.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I mean, I like the fact that you're talking about how flexible it is. It's a lot of mind games because if you're looking at the other side, it's like, oh, where is it going to be? How do we ban other heroes, understanding that it could be literally any of those lanes?
That's right, and you know what? Let's not even consider the difficulties. Let's just go for tankiness first, right? And we have the potential of return fire on that ultimate, on the Dharma as well, the Truth Mantra. So I like this. Lapu Lapu as well as the Dharma picks coming in. This is going to be a very important pick because Tempest, I felt like he had a lot
These
of
picks are very important.
Now with a Dharma, there is even more pain to offer.
Yeah, just setup after setup. And he finds the right angles, especially like he did in the last game with Guan Yu. But if we're looking at the other end, it looks like they're going to go with the tried and true. The Zhang Fei, very traditional, but the Zhang Yu, your thoughts on this one in the clash?
I love this hero when it's on my team. Okay. Because with the Hegemon Slash, which is the ultimate, the lower your health, the higher the damage, and you also get a mini stun from that skill itself. So this is a positional objective on the side of SAUL, right? If this Xiangyu gets into the correct position, soaks in enough damage, returns it fully to the side of Influence Rage, it could change the plane of the fight.
My only concern is Xiangyu very slow, right? The Hegemon Slash takes like 3 business days to truly arrive. I mean, to actually hit that mark. But again, if you have other setup, especially with his Zhang Fei, you have ways to kind of mitigate and play around it.
I mean, okay, number one, yes, maybe for some people it feels like it takes 3 business days. And plus, you're trying to get it on an Erin who is like a feather in the wind.
Yes.
Right? Very mobile, able to change directions at any moment. And within a moment's notice, that's the biggest thing. Now, the big question here is, can this Erin farm? Do they give the space for Leffy to get the gold in his pocket?
Yeah, and actually, Leffy, let's talk a little bit about him, because when he was picked up, it seemed like Influence Rage were able to kind of up themselves to the next level. They were able to kind of really just use his play and, you know, just solidify that farm lane to elevate this team to the next level. Leffy right now, from what I'm told, he's one of the hardest workers in the room. So there's a lot of good things that, again, you can kind of see in the play of Leffy here.
Okay, so hardest worker, I mean, if you're paid fairly, then probably he's going to get a lot of gold in his pocket for this game number 2. Now, they're going to pick up the Ukyo Tachibana for the side of Influence Rage. Going up, wait, what is this? This is going to be a Ziya in the mid lane and a Demon Jay in the farm lane. The Chicha is going into the jungle.
Okay. We knew it was going to be flexible, and again, they might as well just flex it like that. But now you have the Zia, which again is one of those win more type of heroes. It doesn't do the greatest things at times because when you're behind, it feels like a really just tough hero to play with here.
Actually, I would contest that. With the sanctification, he gets extra EXP as well, right? And he can break the level limit, so you get to level 25 if the game really goes late. Put that on a Chicha, put that on a D1. It changes the whole situation of the team fight. Right now, you have to have many other considerations as well. Now, they're gonna finish up the draft on S8 UL's side, or no, Influence Rage with the Nua. I like that. There's a lot of burst damage, a lot of mobility, very quick rotations from the mid lane as well. This could change a lot of things.
And actually, it's about that range. You have a huge the artillery bombardment from the next level or the next map, if you will. I mean, he's able to just stay alive. He's able to kind of stay out of harm's reach, especially when they have the Zhang Yu as well as the Zhang Fei. Both of these
They should
are looking to
take a good bans, guys, for this new
like that when I play a Nua, but somehow I find myself
round.
in the loving arms of the opponent team. So hopefully this doesn't happen for the side of Influence Rage. But this is a difficult position to be in because SAUL, they want to get into the thick of the action. They want to be in your face.
Yeah, and I think that they need to play that way. They need to be aggressive. They need to give themselves a chance because, again, I know that you like Extreme Zia as more of a late game assurance. I'm looking at his early game. If they falter here, he's literally just an old man. He's like a poor man's Gandalf, if you will.
Okay, well, the old man put some damage in here, and Danny, I like the idea, the question, but this is time wasted, right? If they don't manage to get the early rotations, this is going to cost them.
Yeah, and Danny here using that gold sharing. One thing that we saw even in game one was how Influence Rage were able to extract as much value across the map, especially early, because that was what was able to get that snowball going here.
Yeah, and more importantly, right, it's also they now have the information about which buff was started. So this is going to impact what they're going to be thinking about, right? In the next 90 seconds, how do we want to plan our rotations? Do we want to care about the mid lane, right? Right now, this is free EXP that they're losing if they don't get here on time.
Yes, but look at how all three members, just like that, right? Influence Rage, all of them are like, okay, let's use that gold sharing. That wave is about to crash into the tower. So they kind of, again, extracted as much as possible, sticking to a three-man posse here.
Okay, I like this, right? I'm just going to sidestep into the Hyper Roast. Revenant, Spark, as well as SAUL Esports will break the meta of HOK Global Esports. As it stands now, it's looking a little, new.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to be like where these teams are, especially when you haven't played against some of the levels of these teams who have been playing around for year after year, right? So it's a little bit, more of a kind of a free roll for SAUL as they kind of find their footing to find. Nice two-man stun with that Universal Law, which has been dodged out. Influence Rage, get on out of there.
Okay, did they burn the common spells? No, they did not. But was it worth the exchange? It puts fear in the minds on the side of Influence Rage, right? This is a possibility you have to consider. Now, with that being said, SAUL, ooh, KillTZ. This one is looking a little bit uncomfortable. Leffy, you talked about being the hardest worker in the room. He is working really hard right now.
Yeah, KillTZ though, he's gonna get found out. Danny, he's looking for the first kill. He's gonna take first blood right there, and that was a wounded fish, if you will. He's gonna take that free food to go.
And this is a level 4 Mana. There is something to set up here. If they can steal this away before the 4-minute timer, this could be huge for the side of Influence Rage.
Actually, the way that they're disengaging is that, okay, it's about value, right? Let's just go to the mid lane. We don't need to do a 50-50 smite, and a smite battle, if you will. Danny completely giving that up, but again, just trying to extract more farm on this map as they're up about 1.3.
Yep. What I'm curious about is at this point, have they frozen the lane? No, they have not. So Leffy actually allows the recovery of gold and EXP for the side of KillTZ.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a misplay. I mean, again, I think that freezing it in that bottom lane would have been huge for them because KillTZ, that walk of shame all the way back, plus you're losing a lane, it would have been very difficult to find anything. So again, a little bit of a, misplay, if you will.
I think calculated risk at this point, right?
Okay.
So Doofy, that's the thing I want to really focus on. Doofy, game number one got caught out early before the fights.
Right.
But now we're gonna have a new one.
Oh, here's the emergence. They actually have the numbers. The three-man stun. The hedge of his slash will actually connect on, but they find Kong in the bad spot as Danny takes that kill.
This is unfortunate for the side of SAU.
This is unfortunate,
They need
yes,
Kong
exactly.
to stay online. They need him to come up as soon as possible. They're gonna stop this TP. 15 seconds cooldown.
Oh, Miriam just stopping the teleport, but there's 3-4 members of them, and Miriam is gonna sacrifice his life just to cancel that TP.
Yep, didn't even have his ultimate available. Had to burn the flash as well. And now 4 minutes is here. The Tyrant has arrived, and Influence Rage looking super strong.
And Kong, he's already used the smite. It's on cooldown right now, so they actually can't even contest on this one. Influence Rage are gonna pick this up for free. Yes, they are around, but again, you're giving that one away.
I mean, how many advantages do you want to get?
Solar are doing really good actually. They're trying to push their
It's all looking good for the side of Influence Rage. They want to end the series. Here
golden, but
clean slate.
They're looking very clean right now. I mean, this is a
it's hard to clutch up, guys.
So Doofy's on back off here, but the way that they're again just taking stuff off of the map, the positioning of them, they're finding Doofy in a bad spot, and they're going to take that free kill as well. The emergence potentially going in, but the universal law onto Fury and Danny, they are low.
No, but they don't have the long range finish. There is no one to finish the job here, right? And if they still survive, they get away, they're gonna get back to full health. And once again, you find yourself in the exact same position. You have nothing to offer at this point.
Yeah, nothing at this point. And it's kind of a sad story, if you will, but SAUL, it's one of those things where, okay, this is not looking good.
They're gonna come back, guys. They're gonna come back for sure.
Do we go aggressive? How are we getting back?
I think it really is avoid the fights, right?
Okay.
They have to avoid the fights at this point. They have to try and farm safely and also understand what rotations are possible. This needs to be done by Doofy. He needs to let the team know whether buffs are up, what kind of rotations are being made on the side of Influence Rage. He's already giving the vision.
Okay, but it looks like they have all 5 members. They try to go all in. They do get the pickoff. They find Leffy, and on the backside, it looks like Fury's going to be targeted on next, and he too will fall. That is a great ambush attempt, but Miriam a little bit low. They find Extreme. Danny has showed up, but he gets stun locked here on this side, and now with that Raging Sea completely whizzing Keltizi, who gets back onto the tower. Doofy is still duking it out with Danny. Danny decides to turn it up. He actually leaps over the wall, but they're going to dive the tower, and Mena not able to find Miriam in the end.
It was a sliver of hope, right? It looked great. 2 kills for the side of SAUL, but the punish coming in from this side of Influence Rage was exactly the same as well in quality. Now, Danny, recovery, 4-0-1. This guy is a monster in the making, and there is no slowing down. 3,000 gold lead, majority should be in the hands of Danny here.
Yeah, Danny is that guy, right? He is literally the guy in terms of just like when the team fights are happening, you got to get out. Extreme trying to flash away, the mini stun on. He's not getting out of that one as Danny finds yet another. Miriam's going to charge on back, but they've been completely zoned away from this bottom T2.
Yeah, it's not even about taking a fight. It's just pushing them back, so the backdoor defense will be unlocked by the moving minions on the bot side of the way of the lane. And right now, Influence Rage, they have absolute control over the gorge.
Yeah, absolute control. I mean, SAUL were able to find a couple pickoffs. Things were looking decent for them in terms of this comeback, but then Danny shows up and you're like, wait, actually, we are really that far behind.
Yeah, but it's a difficult position to be in, because if you take a look at the 2 main tanks, they're eating too much damage before the fight actually starts. Now, this was looking great for a moment, but look at how many spells they threw, how many ultimates they dropped down to try and get the 2 kills. These are the squishiest targets, and you have to use so many resources.
Yeah.
Resources. By the way, link in description, guys. Check out once.
And he
and even comment it also.
Enough, and they were able to kind of take them down because of his damage. And again, Danny has been the guy. If he's nearby, you just got to run, if you will.
Yeah, man, this is the byproduct, right? Hang on.
Oh, they find Tempest. The nice little charge back. Mena trying to control, but the Raging Sea is going to be on point. They find Tempest. Doofy doing a little bit of work, but he's going to be whittled down by Leffy. Trying to focus him down. SAUL are going to just walk away. Emerges just barely misses Doofy.
And why did Influence Rage take that fight? Take a look at the top side of the map, right? They not only get the split push going in, quite a bit of damage on the T3, and right now they could be looking for more. Kong needs to move away. In fact, the rest of them kill Teasy as well as Doofy. They have to be really careful with Extreme. Get away from this position. It's so dangerous.
Oh, so dangerous with Danny there. Mena getting a little bit low. The charge on back. Danny now getting focused here. He's a bit on the squishier side. He's going to use the healing too. But SAUL finding ways to get back in. I mean, they're, taking the fight to him.
4,000 gold difference in advantage to Influence Rage. Not bad for being
এখানে
in this
লাইভ
position
স্ট্রিম
to try
চলছে,
and hang on. 8.5
এখানে
minutes,
অফিসের
this is
কাজ
a
চলছে,
Tyrant
লাইভ
with
স্ট্রিম
normal
বলতে
Tyrant, not the enhanced
নর্মাল
one,
কাজ
so
আছে
it's
অফিসে।
still okay for the side of Influence Rage. Big question now is, what is the mental state here, right? It feels like they have the ability to recover, but do they even get
লাইভ
the
স্ট্রিম
chance? Because
চলছে
Influence Rage, they still have
ইউটিউবে,
a good control of the map.
আর এটা হচ্ছে
Taking a
অফিসে
tyrant
কাজ
is
করছে,
just
দুটো
like a
একসাথে
baby
করছি,
step
লোন
towards the
কি
right
অবস্থা।
direction in terms of how this game is looking to go, at least if you're an SAUL fan. That's what you want to do. You got to win the little things to compound it into something much bigger. Miriam getting focused here. The creation blocks are going to do a little bit more, but not enough to take him down there under the mid T1.
Oh, Goofy!
All the stuns.
Oh, nice one, nice stun. They are trying their best, guys.
Tempest is going to be
Oh, nice,
away.
nice kill.
And now Danny, he's going to just back on off on this one. They're going to be happy with that trade.
It's a full trade of resources as well, but the ultimates are coming back off cooldown. Danny already has his. Meanwhile, Extreme and Doofy have theirs, but Doofy is so low. Doofy, I feel like he needs to take less damage. He's getting the vision, sure, but do it without getting hit.
Yeah, I think that Doofy is thinking the same thing. He's like, I need to take less damage, but they just keep focusing me, right? I think the game plan is definitely there, but now, I mean, if anything, it's about that vision game. Just like understanding and tracking where the enemy team is.
They can't defend this. This is a T2 for free on the side of Influence Rage. Doofy does not have the madness as well to get his ultimate off. So, you know what? Taking a T1 at the top, that's the best they can do. I like it.
Yeah, you'll take what you can get, right, in terms of that spacing. I mean, Tempest is there. He'll try to clear. This is a numbers advantage in the mid lane. It looks like Miriam trying to go in. Mena looking to duel on this one, and now with that Raging Sea off to the side, they find Kong. The burst is real, and Doofy too will fall. Kilteezy not able to pick off it looks like Mena. He's going to survive, but Kilteezy taking a lot of damage. Is he able to get away? That was a baby universal law, and Tempest on the prowl with the Formless. Not quick enough.
He was looking good at it. He had the true mantra. He had the flash as well. I knew what was coming. And you know what? Tempest said, chill out, guys. We don't take too many unnecessary risks here.
Yeah, and now with this Overlord, and it looks like they want the Tyrant. They're going to go for both at the same time. Very greedy, but when you've got two members down and this lead, I think it's okay for Influence Rage.
Yep, double BJ. I love to see this. It shows you to what extent, like Danny, he's also
They're
making
trying
sure
their
they
best,
don't have
guys.
the primal bond.
INF
This is
taking
what
the
you should do if you want a double objective. That's enhanced version.
objective.
Shadow variants, by the way.
Yeah, synchronized, a big neutral taking, right? That was the perfect way, but again, DJ can break this one down.
Yeah, I mean, this is all down to Miriam, right? He wanted to get the setup. Good idea, but that Matrix coming in from the side of Fury, that was so monumental in the fight, allowing for a lot of damage coming in with Annihilation as well.
Oh, Miriam a little bit low. Danny not enough damage to take him down, but SAUL, tuck tail run, they hide under the top T3 here. But Influence Rage not looking to give this up. They have at least the Siege Catapult. Do they have enough damage to take it down? They do not.
I mean, at this point, they have to trade health points for the defense.
Yes.
Right? And that's not a good situation. It means you fight unfairs. And Influence Rage, they take the T3 in the middle. This is going to open up the doors. This might be the last fight here.
Yeah, the Shadow Vanguard is in the bottom lane as well. Kong trying to deal with that Vanguard. That will slow things down, at least for now. Top lane, that was the big push. They take the top T3.
Okay, now Kong does have the Blood Rage. This might be the smallest of advantages, I hope, but SAUL on their last legs. This is the last T3. It looks like it's going to be taken down.
Yeah, Mena just walking forward. Miriam just getting slowly picked off. The Raging Sea is going to be committed. The shields are on point, though. And now with that Annihilation, they do find Miriam. And now Kong, he too will fall. Doofy getting a little bit low, and he will fall as well. They've taken the 4 members down. And now Kilteezy not able to do so. And it looks like Influence Rage are going to take game number 2 in this series.
Upper bracket secure. Now the strongest teams have made it work in this part of the day, which means they will be going up against Buriram United Esports.
Yeah, and I think that they're going to be super happy with that result on this one. Influence Rage coming to play 2-0 very quickly, if you will, but that was looking like a team that was on the next level here.
I mean, they said they were ready for the international stage, and Kaiba said they wanted more, and this is exactly what I want to see out of Influence Rage. Good start.
Very good start. It couldn't be better, right? But at the same time, SAUL, they had their moments. Let's not discourage what they did. They were able to find it out, but again, just too much Influence Rage in the end.
Yep. I mean, this is their first international, right? So this is a good learning experience. Not many people get to go to the international stage as a training ground, you know, right? First major event, you're in Paris, right here on the big stage. This is going to be an important lesson, and they need to recover fast.
Very quickly. There's no other time. We have one more series. You lose that one, you're going home. So if anything, right now, you got to just kind of shake things up and get back into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for match number 2. Influence Range is going to be the winners. Influence Range is going to move forward in the upper bracket, and today they're going to be playing against Buriram United Esports for that first ticket into the group stage.
On how they exactly played the series, it was very, very similar in a very dominating position for both Buriram and also the side of Influence Rage, where they choke out their opponents through map resources, force them to take uncomfortable fights, and then that 10-minute mark when it hits, they clean up the game easily.
They are giving their best, guys. So let's see, a lot of matches are also there. So
group stage. That's gonna be interesting because it's really hard to predict who's gonna win out.
Of course, no, but before we jump into what's gonna happen into that upper bracket, right? Let's just put our eyes into SAUL, right? They had some moments, some sparks of really top level performance in this game.
আমায় খাই দিতে হবে, নাহলে আমার খেতে খেতে মোটামুটি 4:30 বেজে যাবে। 4:30 কাছাকাছি।
What are you really doing, right? What are you charging into? You're charging into a creation block of the newer? Like, what do we want to really achieve here with this Clash Lane pick? It didn't seem like it was actually coming into fruition here. And in terms of, obviously, like, the actual tempo of, like, scaling, mid-game, it was kind of, like, all over the place.
Yeah, that was a good point, right? Like, they actually saved it in as one of the last few pickups here, and this is some of the highlights coming in from game 1, where that wombo combo coming in from Maina on that zombie Unbridled Outburst, connecting with Tempest with that Razor Cavalry was just so beautiful for that specific play. And Leffy, I don't know, buddy, that healing deal is probably not for you.
Yeah, Leffy should have gone righty, right? Like, he should have definitely stayed away from that T1 turret down to the bot side, but there were some actual, like, there were some good things here for Soleil, right? They were trying to set up the team fights, obviously, there with Doofy, but it just all fell apart. They were able to compose it here onto the side of Influence Rage.
And I like the fact that you pointed out, like, last year, it was Danny's year in playing those utility junglers, those tanky bruiser styles, but coming in towards this specific series, man, he's improved. He brought back the Jing, he brought back the Ukyo Tachibana here, and both of the games, 0 deaths occurred for this jungle player.
His identity has always been like that, right? Like, he's always been an assassin.
Oh, yeah.
He's always in the jungle, getting the resources, trying to get the kills. That is exactly the Danny that we know.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, though, did we expect anything different here from Influence Rage? And I mean, yes, obviously, they go up against Soleil Esports. They do dominate in a 2-0 fashion, but the bar for that domination isn't quite, obviously, what they're going to be reaching into this next phase, right? Obviously, Buriram United really showed some great colors and really big promises here.
SAUL is going to be working their way up tomorrow to try to keep alive in the tournament. But what about we go on stage right now? Mara got Danny that is going to break through everything that just happened in this game. Mara, please go.
We're here with Danny from Influence Rage. Congratulations. In both games, you were amazing. But you know, what really struck out to us was game number 1. You finished it in 8 minutes. You did not allow your opponent to get any objectives or any tower. So what was the key to having this high level of map control?
I think it's because, like, the matchup against them, like, we have a lot of experience, so the difference between us and them, like, in this series, I think, is the experience. So that's why, like, we just smashed the game, like, in 8 minutes, because they are new in this game, right? They are playing, like, for 3 months, I think. So yeah, in the second game, I feel it's gonna be like the same, was to be the same, but yeah, we made a lot of mistakes.
But it was great that you're also acknowledging the experience of your opponent. And what we also noticed was that for every pick, before every objective, you got a pick. And how important was it for your team to have this level of aggressive play style to have such a convincing win?
Yeah, this is the style that we like it to play also in Brazil. We are an aggressive team, so we like to fight a lot. We like to invade. We like to fight like for everything for the TPs. So yeah, this is the style of our region, I think. So yeah, that's the difference.
And with that, fight, 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 we're gonna see another one later on. So, Influence Rage, your team, will go up against Buriram United as our fifth match of the day. And we want to see and hear about your honest predictions for that one.
I mean, Buriram United for sure. They are like a really great team. They are also champions in their game. So yeah, I expected that series gonna be like a really good series. But for sure, we are ready. We training a lot, and we are in my house, right? We are in okay. So we're gonna win, and we're gonna to the group stage.
Let's invite the viewers to support you later.
So thank you very much, guys. You guys are supporting our team a lot. You guys are sending message every time. So yeah, we're gonna try our best in the next match, and we're gonna to the group stage. So thank you very much, and keep support us.
Danny, as always, you're amazing. Once again, congratulations, and we'll see you for the fifth match. You heard it from Danny, and now we're gonna hear from our casters. Lead the gorge.
With total class and an amazing sportsmanship feeling right over there, Danny just break it up on what it was. Like once upon a time, there were the teams that they had months only of experience, and right now, after years and years of clashes, they have gained experience to right now being the ones to lead the gorge, as Mara was always saying. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna jump into a short break, and after we come back, we're gonna have our next game that is gonna have Nonshin Red Force and OG Esports.
So next match also there, guys. So let's see.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
আমি আমার মাছ ভাজা একটা ঝোল ভালো খাবার ওই চাটনি ওটা পাপড় এটা মাছ ভাজা এটা মাছের ঝোল নে মাছ ভাজা দেখতে হবে মাছ দিয়ে রান্না খাওয়াই ভালো ওদের আবার নাটক আছে তো ভালো হয়েছে
दूर बैठ
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan. Ergonomically engineered for you. Hybrid work. Artists. Backing your every move.
আচ্ছা কাটো এরকম করে দিবি কাটতেই যাবে এটা কোনো কথা না বাকি আছে না
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the KWC 2026. We're going to jump into our match number 3 of the day. Group A is already done. We're going to move with the action in Group B. And who do we have over there in Group B? Two teams that they do not need any introduction. Nonshin Red Force against OG Esports.
Yep, before we actually jump back in towards it, right, we have this specific tournament bracket here where Suriname United Esports took down Team Flash in a tournament fashion, and in Group A itself, we also saw how Influence Rage dismantled SMO Esports in that game just now.
So, big moments from Group A. Now we head to Group B. Nongshim Red Force going to go up against OG Esports. This one breaks my heart because I love both teams, but they are not the only ones causing me heartbreak. It's going to be Deep Cross Gaming going up against Blacklist International. Difficult matchup for sure.
I feel like Group B as a whole, you can never get your predictions right because all these teams are pretty 50-50 in terms of their strength. And for the upcoming match for Group B, Nongshim Red Force takes on OG Esports in Group B's opening here, Isaac.
Yeah, that's going to be our Crunchyroll topic for today, right?
They
meet for the first time again in an international tournament. So I am really looking forward to see if this is going to be the first time that the IPL is going to have their
There's a first for everything, so maybe today is that day. But I also want to talk about how this team is constructed, right? We talked about the replacements that Nongshim Red Force has done throughout the second half of 2025, coming into 2026. A lot of big changes for them, and those changes have brought them a certain level of success. OG on the other hand, five different members.
I mean, you gotta look at it from a perspective, right? Where Nongshim Red Force two members out, we have Rotel and also Namu as the new players here, and then you look towards the side OG. They moved from previously known as KMW, now KML, to IKL with their star player Dao Dao, and it has been going pretty okay thus far, where they've been finding wins, they've been finding momentum, but they ended third in IKL. So if you're third in IKL, can you beat KML's second place?
I mean, numbers are very important, right? And but these numbers keep changing. That's the thing. OG Esports, as they walk their way to the stage, can they find the confidence to break Nongshim Red Force apart?
And to talk about this specific roster, right? Yes, it's coming from different players, different background, coaches, and everything. But if you look and dive deep in towards it, Omkru is their coach. He was top 8 last year with Bigger by Vitality, and Dao Dao with OG, top 8 as well. And Neil, also Bigger by Vitality. So you actually have a lot of players coming in towards this roster that has sufficient competitive edge in the
I agree. Yes, you have the quality, but you have to find the balance. It needs to be just right. And Nongshim, I feel like they have found that exact flavor. The different rotations. But yeah, they have so far for Nongshim Red Force, and I like this roster.
And to go back in time slightly, right? When was the last time we saw Esports? It was all the way back in March or April when IPL was still happening here. So it has been, what, 4 months since their last gameplay. But for Nongshim Red Force, they represented Republic of Korea back in Asian Games qualifiers, and they look amazing. So it's about available information versus the late information that has been not available for quite a while now.
Of course, we have seen OG Esports already, like, they have had a little bit of a sabbatical already for some time. Different ways, right? Like, they could have actually spent all of this time just trying to work their way into understanding the meta for this KWC 2026. On the other hand, we could always just think about, like, is this Nongshim Red Force that has been competing a lot more right now, is that going to give them an advantage or not?
I want to talk about a very small piece of information.
Yes.
Omkurus used to be a professional AOV player.
Oh.
So he has some information for OG. So I'm wondering if he's going to take what he has seen just now from the Buriram and Flash games, as well as the Influence Rage and as a UL games and bring us to a completely different world for this best of 3.
Let's just spotlight the coaches for a bit, right? Like, because both of them have very different styles. They have a very strong identity, and they coach their teams in very different ways, right?
For me, I think Coach YK, which is the coach coming in from Nongshin Red Force, is about discipline, doing things at the correct timing here. And the draft is actually very, I would say, stable and static here. Like, you pick A, I counter with B, and then we slowly pace off with the global ban picture. But for Cruz, you've seen his games back in Big Control by Vitality here. Zhuangzi jungle, Marco Polo farm lane, weird picks all around. Did it work to a certain extent? But that's the thing that makes this person special coming in from the side of OG Esports. It's his flexibility in actually taking on the blame for his team for draft mistakes. But with mistakes, there's also risk. And with risk, there's also high rewards.
I mean, that's a responsibility, right? You give the tools for the team, but it's up to the players to be able to execute the movements to perfection. And I feel like the hero pools, I want to just pinpoint into the jungle. Haku against the jungler Dao. That one's interesting because both heroes, they have very deep hero pools.
Yeah, and towards this point, right, I think as we watch so many games of Nongshin Red Force throughout the years, I feel like Nongshin Red Force, at the very least for Haku, there's one specific hero that he doesn't have in his pool, Jing. Which Dao 100% has.
Okay, maybe we won't get to see the Jing though, because I think Dao is more comfortable on the Luna.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, both junglers are pretty comfortable with the Luna here. We've seen highlight reels from them back in their KME, KMW days, so maybe coming in towards this draft here, Luna might be one of the specific picks to look out for, but in terms of the traditional drafting style, I still feel that Pei, Alien, these are definitely top tier, and then the AOV hero starts coming in. Florentino has been banned, what? In almost every single game, and we have yet to see a single appearance of it, and every time there is a Lorien, it has been showing amazing performance thus far in this tournament.
I like the fact that it's 0% show rate for Florentino, but it seems to be 100% win rate, if I'm not wrong, for all the Lorien games we have seen so far, right? So the moment you pick Lorien, you win the game. Let's hope that that stat continues, because I want to see more Lorien games. It's really interesting how they use that total of what, 2 seconds of CC. It's an instant delete button.
And towards this specific pick of Lorien, right? Yes, it may seem like a very strong pick. It is. I have it ranked at like tier 0.5 to tier 1.
Okay.
This hero is exceptionally good that you can pick it in the first phase. I believe in a longer series format in the BO5 and BO7. This hero either highly pick or almost 100% pick and ban. Now, what kind of heroes counters Lorien here? Based on my conversation with some of these pro teams, they mentioned like hard engage, like Mai Shiranui, hard engage, like a Guan Yu, for example. These things are what you can actually try to dissect the Lorien pick.
Yes, and you know, one of the discussion points we have, besides the mid-lane matchup of Lorien, we expected him to be picked quite a lot. It's also Rome. On the Rome side, you know, we talked about Kui coming into play in this meta. I have not seen a single Kui today. Can I please be blessed with one game? Just one.
I feel like Kui, I will definitely 100% want to see it here. And if it's anywhere, it's definitely going to be here because Namu has picked it a lot of times before in clutch games. But Isaac, what do you think?
I really look forward for the Quay, man. Like, the Quay is one of those heroes that I just enjoy so much watching. Like, just the ability that it has, like the way that you use that hero with the hooks. But well, maybe they will let us watch it. Maybe they won't. Holler, Nora, let's take it from here.
All right, thank you so much, Isaac. As we go into, of course, the third series, this one has been a lot of hype, especially when we're talking about the plans. And my name is Holler. With me is Nora. I'm so happy to be here with you on the desk. But your thoughts on these two teams?
Well, my thoughts on these two teams is that it's kind of like a deja vu for the EWC last year because they actually met up against each other last year in the group final for the first round, and that was a 2-0 goes to OG. So again, this time Moonshine face against OG again, first played in EWC this year, while they make their revenge on OG.
Oh, is it revenge? Is it bad blood? How are I mean, the rosters are slightly different from when we did see them in that rematch, right? I think that at the end of the day, OG, you still have Dao, which we know is one of the strongest players on the team. They've leveled up, I would say, with Amcorus as coach. I like OG in general. I mean, the fact that they got here, I think it was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, well, I feel like they are definitely like a jungler for playstyle. So this time they definitely will put a lot of strength on Dao again, since he already got like 12 MVPs back into the springtime. So definitely, yeah. And I would say maybe Nongxing, they kind of restricted their heroes on the side of OG.
Yep, yep. And I think that Nongshim's on the other side. You're talking about jungler. Let's talk about the other side. It's Haku, right?
Yes.
He also is a very aggressive one. I don't know in terms of like level, if he's the same level as Dao, but he's still, I would say the team success revolves around his play, correct?
Yes, I totally agree with you. So I'm looking forward to seeing like both assassin jungler play against each other.
Okay.
And for the BP phase, actually we can see Mai will be the first one goes over to Nongxing Red Force. While Illusion, he's definitely going to be the shot caller of the game.
Yes, and actually this is one of his signature heroes.
Yes.
He will almost always pick this one because, again, the Mai Shiranui, there are many reasons to like her, but she's also about that tempo.
Yeah.
Illusion loves to play these types of mobile, high damage type of mid laners, if you will.
Yes, I feel like he's always going to pick Mai every time, each game. But Lauren's been so popular right now so far in EWC, and it's actually doing well.
Yeah, it's actually done very well. It's funny because it's been available even in the Asia Games qualifier, but no teams were really willing to pick it. But we've seen it time and time again. Every single series, it's been first phase picked. It is incredibly strong. I mean, even in my own ranked games, the Lorien hero absolutely destroys. So, I mean, seeing it on the big stage, your thoughts on this?
Well, I feel like maybe it's because it's kind of new, so teams and also the players need time to get to know this hero more throughout the game, and also because of its long attacking range and also the burst out damage coming from this Lorien, so it can do both good in the laning and also in the team fight.
Yes, it adds quite a bit, right? A lot of flexibility. That orb and that damage is unreal.
Yeah.
It kind of controls things. But if we're looking on the other side, Nongshim's lineup, I mean, the Aaron, the Zhang Fei, the Mai, these are more traditional Honor of Kings Esports heroes, correct?
Yes, and it's pretty solid, I would say.
Agreed.
Like, you can never go wrong with the Zhang Fei pick, and also with this iRON. Well, I do like the iRON pick because it's kind of just guarantee the output through the team fight. So I would say Nongxing Red Force is looking for a very well-rounded composition for this game.
Agreed. And I think that it's funny because they see the Arlie. They know that, you know, on the other side, it's going to do definitely its own damage from a hem.
Yeah.
But the Aaron has kind of risen in popularity in terms of like a counter. It has that like homing missile, if you will, but it has definitely play. But your thoughts on the Aaron overall?
Yes, I feel like Aaron is kind of like a safety pick because Arlie, yeah, definitely you can manipulate this hero in a more artistic way. But if you just go for small mistakes and everything might just fall up because of the Arlie pick.
Okay. And it looks like they're going to go with the Guan Yu, a little bit more of that control, because you know that if they're going to jump on top of you, you have that Razor Cavalry, push them away, kind of make things very easy, especially when you're talking about a Lorien with those orbs, to kind of be in that bad spot. And you want to control the battlefield as much as possible. So the Guan Yu always tried and true in the Clash lane.
And I do think this Guan Yu might be the pivot of the whole composition goes to OG, because we mentioned about how well-rounded that Nongxing is trying to form up with their format, but like for this Guan Yu pick, he can easily disrupt about this iRON and just kind of being such a great threat among the team fight.
All right, it looks like the last two picks have been locked in by Nongxing Red Force here, Umbrosa and the Ying. And we've seen Haku love this hero Ying. It's definitely done quite a bit, but the Reptel Umbrosa has actually added a nice wrinkle into this lineup as well.
True, and also a lot of players thought Umbrosa can be such a great counter pick towards this Guan Yu because you can do good at the laning phase, and also because of the poking damage coming from this Umbrosa, and also you can easily get attached to this early during the team fight. So I do think Umbrosa might be the hero for Nongxing this time.
All right, and now it looks like OG are going to finalize their draft, picking up the Kaiser here. They're going to go as tanky as possible to kind of deal with this, to be that frontliner. But in terms of draft, though, who are you giving the edge to?
Well, it's very hard to say, actually, because for this Kaiser pick, if he really do this Kaiser well, you know, when the Kaiser is using his ulti, then he can actually block a great amount of damage dealt by this Umbrosa and also by this iRON.
Okay.
So if he play it in a wise way, I would say I would put my money on OG this time.
Okay, you're gonna put money down. All right, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not here to gamble, but I think that I do like the idea of the draft. I think it's very smart. The Lorian and the Arlie will definitely be doing a lot of the damage. You have so many guys to like CC. You've got crowd control in terms of like moving people around as well. So it adds a lot of ticks on the boxes, if you will. But if we're looking at the other side, the Nongshim one, for me, it's about this Umbrosa and the Ying.
Yes.
Are they able to find some of these the squishier like the Lorian and the Arlie here?
Well,
Hopefully, we are ready for the next
the main
games.
point about
So
this
let's see.
impact
This game also gonna
get
be a good.
her eyes on this Guan Yu and try to block Guan Yu away during the team fight.
Okay, all right, we're gonna find out. This is the third series of the day, game number 1. OG Nongshim Red Force, who will be moving on to the upper brackets in these play-ins. Incredibly scary, and already we're gonna start with a little bit of action in this mid lane here.
A lot of skirmishes can already be seen in the mid lane. And actually, I'm really curious about how strong that Group B can be, because we've seen all the matches performed by Group A, and it all end up with a 2-0.
Yeah. So, I mean, Group A has been nothing but 2 zeros. We'll find out in the next, the upper bracket in terms of just who's going to just kind of move on with that. But I think for me, Group B is the group of death, I would say, in the play-ins. I think the teams are a little bit more on a different level. Not to say that Group A are bad or anything. It's just that the competitive level is much higher, I would say, in Group B.
Yeah, I feel like players are more experienced.
Yes. Yeah, and as we go in, it looks like to this bottom lane, for me, obviously Dao is that guy, right? The Kaiser, though, but it's not a really, like an assassin style. So he's going to be looking to keep him alive, and I think that it's more of like a protect composition, if you will.
And the shortage about this Kaiser pick is that it's not that efficient about his farming in the jungle. So that might cause a little bit of problem in the early game of OG.
Okay, all right. But now, if we're talking about the Nongshim side, who is the one guy you're like, okay, he has to have a good game?
Well, Umbrosa definitely Ritel, and also he's the new one to Nongshim, right? Compared their roster to last year. So I'm looking forward to the synergy between Ritel and also Hakun.
Yeah. I actually like that, right? Because Ritel, again, he was kind of coming in for Kyung9. You were like, where's he going to be able to fit in? If we're talking about S4, didn't have the greatest start because, again, he was trying to, you have to play on the international level, like right away. It was a lot of pressure for him, but it looks like Ritel and Namu right now are really gelled with this team.
Yes, and you can see like how aggressively that Ritel is playing right now. Because as I said, a lot of players thought like Umbrosa can be a great counter-attack towards this Guan Yu pick.
Oh, Siri gets knocked up. He gets control, but the shields are on point. Namu with the pushback onto 663, who takes some tower shots, but he too will survive. But OG, I like this aggressive play.
Yes, and because it's a Lorian, he can actually win the lane of the mid, so he rotate down fastly and make it to a 3-1 skirmishes happening at the farm lane.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. You already pointed out Ritel, right, on this Umbrosa. But in terms of lane matchup, how does it do against the Guan Yu overall?
Well, I think Umbrosa can do great against this Guan Yu pick. So, and also Umbrosa can actually support to his team members faster than this Guan Yu around 4 minutes mark.
Okay. And I think in terms of these team fights, with like Illusion and Ritel jumping in, will really kind of create a little bit of chaos, especially on this back line. And so iHONs and Dao, they need to be on point. They need to ensure that they're like the perfect security guards for like a Hem and Neil at the end.
Yes, and also they need to guarantee the vision is pretty clean for this Arlie around this 4 minute.
Yes. By the way, what role do you play?
Wow, mid.
Okay, you're mid. Okay. Are you a Mai?
Well, I
player?
could, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Or I can be the Xiao Qiao.
Okay.
Like simple, but...
Yes. Excellent. Okay. But now in terms of this like mid-game matchup, right? I mean, the Mai on the one side, the Lorian, like how does Neil deal with Illusion as a Mai here?
Well, I think Mai can be the first hand to, just open the skirmishes. But for Lorian, you need to make sure that you poke enough and then use your skill 3 to dash in.
Got it. Okay, so it looks like the setup has been there. I mean, this 4-minute Tyrant is about to be started. Namu with the vision, but it looks like both sides right now are really not looking to fully contest here. As OG, again, they're just like tethering it, but Dao's not even close to this Tyrant.
And because it's too early for both teams to I mean, like, just rush the dragon because the damage out is definitely not enough. They need to scale up a little bit more.
Okay.
So they are a little bit hesitant about whether they're gonna go for this dragon or not.
Got it.
They're kind of afraid of if they just wait all their skills onto this dragon, how they're gonna handle the team fight come afterward.
Okay. But it looks like they're going to start the Tyrant here, and they want to put the pressure on the Nongshim to have to sort of react. The Tyrant getting very low. The Umbrella Outburst is not enough. They've already taken the Tyrant. Hem will take that one out, and now DAO is going to be backing off. OG get that right pick off, and Nongshim left wanting.
Well, you feel like OG, they have their own pace, even though we haven't seen any kills happen right now yet. But you can see like they're waiting for DAO coming into this camp and try to guarantee the dragon for them in the early game.
Yeah, the spacing was actually on point. Right? The way that they were able to take it, because Nongshim, it seemed like, oh crap, they're starting it. We need to get there, and then we're too late. OG with a perfect fortified area, ensuring that they secured it. There was no 50-50 smite battle.
True. So it's pretty much like OG, they are presetting for this dragon.
True. And now Nongshim on this other side, like this is, we knew it was going to be close, but the net worth is still in favor of Nongshim of all things. But now here comes the Razor Cavalry. They actually find him, and Haku trying to get onto the tower. He will be fine, but first blood is going to happen elsewhere as Namu does fall. But DAO fighting 1 versus 2. They're going to continue with that, but OG taking the bottom T1.
And you can see like the same trick that OG did against 3 versus 2 with this nil coming up down and help to get that winning lane at the bottom.
Yeah, actually huge, right? Taking down Namu and then taking the tower. OG right now, that is a huge win. That's going to open things up in terms of spacing. Nongshim right now they have to respond in some fashion.
Yes.
All right, but now back into this mid lane they go. I think Illusion, one thing I haven't seen too much is that he's not really rotating too much. He's kind of just sticking with it. It seems like OG are kind of spotting out where Illusion is at all times.
And the detail about that is because you can see every time when the minions coming into the mid lane, DAO is always being there. So it's always going to be a 2 versus 1. So Mai and Illusion can't really get control of the mid lane.
Bitter farewell. Oh, the nice pushback. The ult was unreal by Namu, but he's going to be whittled. He's going to be focused down. iHOK's not able to find the right target. OG, again, they're trying to fight, but they can't find the right target.
I mean, like a nice ulti down by Namu, but the problem is that not sufficient for the burst out damage coming out from Nongshim, because we mentioned about how important Ambrosia should be there.
True.
But you can see, after the skirmishes happened, actually the positioning is not that well for Nongshim.
Yeah, they weren't able to, I mean, the positioning, I mean, yeah, they had to run. They couldn't really take that team fight, but that created space for Siri to take the bottom T1. So overall a win, I think that they're going to be happy with that at least.
Yes.
All right, now into the top lane they go. OG, they will continue with this push. Nongshim have responded in kind, but the biggest factor for me is that how the game is going to go is based on these mid T1s. Both of them are still standing. Net worth is literally neck and neck.
Yes, and also the split push might be very important in the middle game.
Yes. And now it looks like they're going to be aggressive here. 663 with that bitter farewell. He heartlinks on back to safety. He will be fine, but Nongshim again, you got to protect your jungle as much as possible here.
You can actually feel like Nongshim is trying to make something happen, but the problem is that you can't find your target appropriately.
Yes, you can't find it at all. I mean, DAO right there, he was not able to take the Azor, couldn't even attempt to go for the smite because it was hidden away in that brush. Too dangerous for him. DAO is just looking to stay alive.
That's true. And also, like, OG, they are separated and they are making things happen simultaneously.
Yes.
At the top, at the bottom. So that kind of just makes some trouble for Nongshim.
Yeah, and that's the spacing, right? That's
Yes.
how good teams are going to play, because they're going to put pressure from all different angles, and like what side is going to actually crumble. And I think that OG have responded correctly, I would say.
They're playing very well, yes.
All right, now it looks like the Azur Golem is going to be taken away. DAO looking to go in. He's a little angry. He's going to be pushing on back, and it looks like Neil gets a little bit low. He's trying to stay alive on that side, but they find Haku. The pickoff has been real. iHOK is looking to run away. Ahem is going to sacrifice his own life, fighting 1 versus 3, but double kill on his way out. It looks like it's a 2-for-1 thus far, but 663 so low, he too will fall. Siri gets that pick off, and he's going to get under the tower. They turned it around. It was just bait, and they find DAO as well.
We saw like Nongshim might fall apart after the attack happened, but the thing is that Siri survived throughout the team fight and dealt like sufficient burst out damage to this team. And this might be the turning point of the game, I mean.
That was definitely, it's looking to be like the tipping point, right? I think that if you're not able to kill Siri, why are we fighting, right?
Yes.
I mean, Haku, it's going to attract a lot, but again, Nora, please break this down.
Well, I mean, like, nice controllability coming from In this time. He actually guaranteed that iRON could be in a very safe place at the first beginning. So you can see, like, no damage actually is dealt to the Siri. So he can play in such a comfortable way. And everyone just played around with Siri and just pushing forward.
And it also didn't seem like Ahem was finding Siri, right?
Yes.
Like, he needs to just focus on him. Illusion and Haku are a bit of a problem, but you gotta leave Rattel and Namu alone. Those are the last guys you need to take on now.
Sure.
All right, now it looks like we've kind of entered about the 10-minute mark. The Shadow Tyrants, the Shadow Variants are going to be spawning now, but with this slight lead, is this going to be enough for them to take over this game?
Well, I feel like 10-minute mark is definitely going to be their pivot because enough equipment that we can see made for Siri, so they're like playing as a bodyguard around Siri right now. You can see that the position is quite decent and they try to guarantee that Siri will be put into a really comfortable setting.
Yeah, that's not easy to do when you're able to kind of, again, just create that spacing. You said it was like the bouncer, the security guard, and it did a really good job because OG could never find an angle to even contest. Very smartly played by Nongshin there.
And if you are looking for a door opened by OG, I would say put Ehans under the spotlight because Guan Yu might be the only person can make that happen.
Yeah. But if he's able to find that perfect Razor Cavalry, they could completely shift this game into their favor, right?
Yes,
they have that chance. So it's a never say die attitude, assuming you're able to find that right angle. And now it looks like the Umbrella Outburst just on the side, completely whiffing, but they find Illusion. That's going to be picked up. 663, he's going to fall as well. And now Dao trying to focus it down. They find Rattel, who's got a secondary life, but he's been pushed under the tower. He will survive as he flashes away, and here comes Haku. Off to the side they go. iHOK trying to go in, but he's going to sacrifice his own life. Dao not able to find it, and again, Siri survives.
Siri survived again, and he's definitely going to be the hero of Nongshin this time. I mean, like, everything just kind of seemed optimistic to OG because
so guys, here's a stage.
In that play, but the thing is that once
Playing stage like 8 teams, 2 groups, double elimination, view 3, July 30 to 31. It's today itself.
Definitely. And rightly pointed out because
so and group stage, August 1 to 4. 16 teams, group 4, double elimination 3. And play stage, August 5 to 8. 8 team single elimination, view 7. Third place match, August 8, view 5, and grand final 8, August 8 and view 7. This is the actual calendar sheet for the matches.
It seemed like he was going in, but the fight had already happened. It's better when he's kind of coming in, sweeping them into your side, so you have a much easier chance of just like taking them all down.
True.
All right, now OG on this side. It looks like, again, they're still grouping up, looking for that angle. Nongshin not giving anything. Even Siri playing very aggressively up front.
And you can see the positioning of Rattel and Haku. They are trying to guarantee that each bush, there's no one ambushing in that place.
Smart. That's what you need to do. Because the only way you lose this game is if Ehans finds that angle. If he's able to flank you and push, again, everybody into your team, you've got a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, now this bottom T3, it looks like Siri, off to the side they go. Ahem is trying to deal with a wave, but Dao, I mean, he's tanky, but at what cost? The Invincible Warrior is going to be committed, but now he's going to look to just run off, but they find Illusion, who dove a little bit too deep. The bottom T3 gets taken down. Nongshin, I think, are going to be happy with that trade.
I feel like the way that how Nongshin is operating this game is that Illusion is kind of baiting OG. Like, he's sacrificing himself and trying to make sure that everyone just put all of their efforts onto Illusion and just waste all their skills onto Illusions. And, you know, it kind of just makes Siri to be very comfortable.
I mean, you see Illusion jumping in, getting onto that side. She is very squishy, so it's a very juicy target, if you will. So I understand OG's lineup, but I think right now you got to be like, okay, it doesn't matter about anyone else. The only thing that we need to do is find Siri in these team fights.
Exactly.
All right, and now it looks like if we're talking about damage, Neil on this Lorien, this is why we were talking about it in the pregame, in the draft. This Lorien is going to be a problem when you're able to do this much damage here. Tyrant getting takedown. He's a little bit low, but Haku gets the smite. It looks like he steals it away. And with that Umbrella Outburst, they've got a little bit of control. Dow is on the run as well as the rest of them, and they find 663. Rattel has been doing some serious work as they get the knock up on the Dow. Are they able to take down the Invincible Warrior? Yes, they are, as Rattel slices him down.
It's gonna be a killing spree, and Weekend's minions are actually on the way at the bottom, so I feel like Notion is ready to close out the game.
Yeah, they're looking to go, but they want to pad the stats. Ahem is just going to stay alive, but they're going to take the crystal, and Nongshim are going to strike first. They're going to take game number 1.
Such a great game played by Nongshim. You can see like they are very patient, even they fell behind in the early game, but they're just wait for Siri to scale up and just play around Siri and just pushing the game into the end.
Yeah, it looked like a very favorable game for Nongshim, but in the end, it was like, find Siri. That's the only thing we need to do. It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Siri in this case? We take him down. We got ourselves a chance. Unfortunately, OG, we're not on the same page with that. And now it looks like looks like that's going to be it for game number 1, but let's send it right back to Isaac here.
Nongshim, Red Force, it is actually done in here. Taking that victory is going to be an amazing performance for them. OG Esports, on the other hand, they had the advantage at the beginning. They had a couple of opportunities to turn the game in their way, but they were unable to actually take them right now.
Yeah, it was much of a statement in the early game where we see, like, I think at the 8-minute mark, there was like barely any kills and only one. And when it mattered the most, we see, yes, OG finding a good team fight. At the start of the team fight, near the 8-minute mark, they got like 2. But then they overcommitted, and then they made a good trade into an unfavorable both our casters mentioned here. If you don't get Siri, you don't get the game. Where Siri and Rattel, they were farming so well. Well, he can just set up, make the play happen, set the crowd control down, and he can rest in peace. And other than that, Siri, Rattel, they did a fantastic job in this game number 1.
Yeah, he used his life to trade for the benefits of the side of yes. And this is where look that rise in gold right from the 9-minute mark. This was a huge moment because Nongshim, I mean, like I said before at the start of the day, I feel like these two teams, regardless who wins, they're going to break my heart because I love both of these teams. The growth has been superb. But the way that Rattel played in this game, his Broxa is a pain in their neck. He's so hard to kill already. He's overfarmed. He's pushing OG into the corner. And yes, Ahem comes out, gets a couple of surprise kills. But what good does that do when your main damage dealers cannot finish the job?
Nongshim Red Force came here. They took the lead at the 8-minute mark, and then all the way until 14. They pushed and pushed until they took the crystal. Right now, we're going to go to a little break, and then as we come back, it's going to be game 2 of this match between Nongshim Red Force and OG Esports.
টাইটেল তো বুঝিনি, সেটা তো টাইটেল আমি জানি, মানে ওটাই কি চেঞ্জ করছো?
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
আচ্ছা ওই বাট ওই যে স্যাম্পল তুমি তো ফার্স্ট মিনিটটা চেঞ্জ করিস নি। আচ্ছা 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 তো এখানে ভয়েস নোট ব্যবহার করুন। আচ্ছা পুরো আচ্ছা আমার তো দুটো করে নোট রয়েছে রে। আমার তুই তাহলে তো সিঙ্গেল ছিল। আচ্ছা ওই নাম্বারিং এর যে হেডিংটা রয়েছে ওই হেডিং গুলো যেখানে অ্যাড করতে হবে, যে কোন কোন পেজ আছে। সালা আমি তখন বললাম আমাকে বলেনি নাকি দরকার নেই। आता ही तो बोल रहा था ना मुझे ये पार्ट में मैं बोला नहीं हम्म हाँ it is bro but तो फर्स्ट पे रोटा था मैं लोगों को चाहते हैं मुझे कम लिखा नहीं ठीक है ठीक है रख लो
Welcome back. This is the KWC 2026. We're gonna move into game 2 of the game between the match between Nongshim Red Force and the OG Esports. Well, I am really excited about this KWC 2026. Not only because of the games, but because of everything else that just comes into this competition.
Yes, and this is the one that has newly dropped the Heaven Beacon Princess Frost skin. I am a Princess Frost user. Okay, I'm gonna brag a little bit.
Oh,
46 in Asia.
46 is pretty good.
That was the highest I could achieve.
That's so pretty
Once
good.
upon a time.
You leave that into old news. Okay, talking about this upcoming new news though, you can get it from July 30 to August 8, where you can bargain for a lowest price and then get it later on with tokens here. So remember to get it, check it in the in-game client here. But we are here again today for the second game coming in from OG Esports and Nongshim Red Force. And judging from game 1, they're pretty neck and neck, but it comes down to the key moments where so far Nongshim Red Force has the clutch factor over OG.
I want to really highlight the fact that everything in here is high stakes, because whoever that loses here is gonna have to play tomorrow against the loser between Deep Cross Gaming and Blacklist International. You don't want to be on that match with no lives left.
Exactly. There is no more extra token down here. You don't get one more slot.
Yep.
You have to do it here. You have to do it now, and you have 2 chances to do it. Right. This first chance is the one that not only gives you the first benefit of winning, it also gives you a second life in the second part of the play-ins. You want to secure that chance. And look, the synergy between Nongshim Red Force players has been, this is a fact, better than the OG synergy.
And we were talking about it last time, right? Where OG Esports, yes, a very prestige roster coming in together here, but comparing experience to the side of our Nongshim Red Force side, this is the thing. Nongshim, they've proven to us, like, okay, sometimes it's okay to start slow, and when they start slow, they are so good at actually packing that punch in going for those important games. Are we seeing it back in KIS4, and are we going to see it today against OG?
I am ready to see more, because they definitely need to bring, with the guns blazing at this point. They need to step up. OG needs to be here.
Nongshim Red Force has been on the grind non-stop in different tournaments this whole year, and it's really showing right now. Like the way that they have been playing, it is up until right now one of the better teams of today. What do you think, Nora?
I think definitely, yeah, they are playing very good, and also, as we said, they are playing in such a patient way. They're not in rush.
Very solid, and I think that they've grown up quite a bit. I think that we're seeing the next level of Nongshim. I mean, yes, they've done very well in terms of these internationals, but seeing them now, especially from the Asia Games qualifier to now, I think we're seeing them even rise even much higher.
Exactly, and also we mentioned about the differences between the roast. About their lineup compared to last year when they competing in this EWC. And to Nongshim, actually they keep the same jungler, mid laner, and also the marksman. And you can see like they are doing very well in the first game. But as for OG, there's only Dao that hasn't changed, so it might cause a little bit problem until that.
So that was why there was a little bit of a surprise, if you will, because Dao was that guy, and then the rest of them just found that groove and then that's what I mean. They beat they overcome Visaka, Kagendra, all of these different teams that you were kind of thinking they had the edge over OG.
True.
And so OG was surprised, and the fact that they snuck in as that third and final slot, I mean, that was a huge surprise there.
And also because of they came from actually different teams, so they brought different understanding towards the patch, even though they're playing the same game. And that's the reason why maybe they should, just came up with a more like easier composition to execute. For example, just build up a composition around their marksman Aham, or pick some assassins.
Okay, well, it looks like they're going to go with the Florentino. This is going to make things incredibly interesting to go into this one. It looks like the AOV heroes have kind of shined thus far in the entire day today. And picking that one first, I think it's like OG or like, hey, backs on the wall, we're down 0-1. Let's pick this one out and really take it to them.
And I always like to see Florentino be played by those players because Florentino can be so good in game if you can do it well.
Yeah, and it looks like the other side, the answer to this one is they're going to go with the Devara, also a new hero, and as well as the Haya. So this is going to be very interesting. Let's put it into the Mirage. Let's isolate and kind of divide and conquer, if you will.
Yes, and just cut Florentino off of this team fight. And that's the reason why actually OG is respond this Haya with this Aguda pick, because Aguda's ulti can actually just trigger it out of Haya's
Actually, the
ulti.
thing is,
It
मैं बोल
can
रहा था
just
कि
get out of
स्टेप
the
1 एंड
distance,
स्टेप 2 बोल
down
के
by
टाइटल पे
Haya.
डाल
So
दूं,
it's kind
बिकॉज
of, it can be a
उधर
very
पे
decent
बंगाली में
pick
लिखा है कि
towards this Haya.
सिलेक्ट करो स्टेप 2 पे और स्टेप 1 पे लिखा है व्हाट्सएप ओपन करो, तो दोनों लिख दूं क्या स्टेप 1
and of course the Lapu Lapu with that latency, they're gonna like look to line that one up. So again, if anything,
एक नंबर को सिलेक्ट करो, ऐसा बोल
has
रहा
to burst that hero
हूं।
down
ये मेरी बात है, बाकी ऐसा लिख
And
दो
the
टाइटल
point
पे
is how you're
स्टेप
going to
1
play
एंड स्टेप 2,
against a
तो
Haya
लोगों को
pick
पता
is
चल
that
जाएगा
you
कि
need to
स्टेप
make
1
sure
एंड
that
स्टेप
you
2 इस
can
पेज पे है।
guarantee the space out of Haya's ulti, because there's only 8 seconds for Haya to use his ulti to block Florentino away. So this Lapu Lapu is kind of saying that OG is trying to initiate the team fight after Haya used up her ulti.
क्योंकि वहाँ पे तीनों तरह के जैसे हम लोग एक्टिविटी ढूंढ सकते हैं, वो तीनों स्टेप्स हैं। So we have to mention like this step धातु 1 means step 1, फिर जो लिखा हुआ है वैसे ही हमें मेंशन करना है। अगर कोई नया इंसान जिसको नहीं पता, अगर वो पीडीएफ देखेगा तो
I would definitely go for
can't
geography
identify
pick,
कि
but
क्या
since
हो
this
रहा है,
is a
किसके
global
बाद क्या हो रहा है,
campaign,
एक
so
बार तो
they
मुझे
already used that out.
वॉइस
So
नोट
it's
से
going
मिल
to be
गया, फिर
a
से मैं
little bit difficult
आईडी
for
तो थिंग इज दैट,
Nongxin.
इसलिए मैंने बोला
What
कि
is going to be
जो
their
वहाँ पे
support? It's going to
स्टेप्स
be
बोल्ड
such
किया
a great question
वो
because they need
टाइटल
to
के
make
साथ
sure
मैं
that they can
सबसे देने
contact
से ठीक
Lop
लगेगा।
Lop outside of this highest ulti.
Yeah, so for me, I always look at the triumvirate of
नहीं,
Zhangfei, Lapu Lapu, and the
जो
Lian
लिखा है
Pu.
वो
Because they're
डायरेक्टली
generally
पेस्ट
the
करने से
same.
आई
They
डोंट
are
नो, वो
similar
डिपेंडिंग
in
ऑन
terms of playstyle of like that big
स्टेप से
team
बोल
fight,
रहा है।
right? When the things
मैं
are
अभी वैसे ही
happening.
करके
So I
रख रहा
always
हूँ,
looked
नहीं
at,
तो
okay, the
स्टेप
Lian Pu definitely a
1
potential.
स्टेप
But
2 वैसा
they
लिख
could go, it
सकते हैं,
looks like
नहीं
they're
तो
going
वो
to go
थोड़ा
with
awkward
the
लग
idea.
रहा
So
है, वो
we'll
लाइन
continue,
में
we'll
लिखा
finish
हुआ
all that
है
discussion.
स्टेप 2
I
में
feel
क्या
the
करना है,
idea
स्टेप 1
maybe
में क्या
will
करना
be
है,
a
वैसा लिख
Karthus
सकते हैं कि स्टेप 1 एंड
as
स्टेप
a
2,
jungler
तो
on the
वो
side of
इंडिकेट
Nas
करेगा कि इस पेज
Nongxin,
पे स्टेप 1 एंड स्टेप 2
because they
दोनों ही
need
है।
kind of like a front laner of this composition, because it's a little bit squishy to me right now so far.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem here. I mean, if you're looking at the other end, this OG lineup, they're going to shore it up. They're going to go the Floorboy Marksman, Da Chao. You have a lot more control, but are there too many eggs in one basket, or is the Florentino and the Floorboy Marksman enough damage here?
Well, I think like the damage is definitely enough, but will the gold be enough? Because like there's too many cores in this composition. Like Gudo need time to scale up Florentino, and so does Flowborn Marksman and also Xiao Chao. So how you're gonna allocate your gold is gonna be the biggest question to OG this time.
100%. Too many mouths to feed, right? That's definitely a problem here. But it's like somebody has to sacrifice, right? So I think that going into this one, when you have heroes that are very greedy and hungry and all of that, you have to make sacrifices. So how would you prioritize? Like, who is that one guy that you're like, okay, he needs to get farmed, everyone else less so?
Well, I mean, like to this patch, mid lane is always gonna be the one who's gonna sacrifice. And Xiao Chao, I guess they are trying to use the skill 2 of Nil and trying to, get some control of Nongxin. And she may just give a lot of money to Florentino and Flowborn Marksman.
Yeah, to be honest, I agree with you 100%. I do think that those are the two main heroes that we're looking at. But if we're looking at the Nongxin side, who can be greedy? Who's going to be prioritized then?
Well, Haya is definitely going to be the shot caller of this game. So Nongxin, they need to make sure that Illusion this time won't lose the efficiency of the mid lane. I mean, like Haku need to go to the mid lane faster than Dodo this time to prioritize Illusion's rotation.
Got it, got it. So it looks like, I mean, Nongshim have the advantage thus far, going in 1-0 in terms of the series. But in terms of draft, is this enough, or is OG, like, are you giving them the edge? Like, who do you like here?
Well, I feel like this time it might be 50-50, but this time it's going to be a very slow game because both teams need to scale up and they won't fight till at least higher upgrade to level 4.
Okay, yeah, definitely that 4-minute mark, right? That Moonscape Mirage, it will change pretty much everything in terms of how this game will play out. But yeah, I do agree 100% on this one because they like that Illusion. They want to set up their entire team fight. Their entire game revolves around Illusion's play.
Exactly, and I feel like that's kind of a little bit change to Nongxin's playstyle because last game in game 1 we see like how they're operating the game, right? They're playing around Siri to pushing forward, like pretty like a marksman core playstyle. But this time they're picking like 2 warriors, so a lot of melee fight can be seen on the side of Nongxin. So I feel like this time they are trying to play the game in a more aggressive way.
Okay, yeah, and I think that the Nongshim style, when they're aggressive, that is the way they should be playing, right? Because they are better when they're able to do that. But OG on the other side, if we're looking at kind of, you know, Dao, we expect him to kind of play the assassin style. It seems like they've kind of changed things up. I don't know if this is the best hero for Dao though, the Agudo.
Well, Agudo can be very flexible or versatile in this patch, and actually you can treat this Agudo as a marksman if he got enough money.
True.
So this time actually OG need to make sure that they can launch enough poking damage upon Nongxin's players because we said like a lot of melee fight can be seen on the side of Nongxin. So I think like OG this time they need to play in a more safe style.
Okay. And for me, I mean, to kind of carry on with that, I think that the Dao is, it's enough, right? And I think that also when you have Ehans potentially on this Florentino, really kind of setting things up, I think that would, you know, really just kind of change this game because, you know, the Florentino, everybody's kind of like, oh, how is this hero going to do, especially in this game?
Especially like Florentino can always showcase if you can pilot him well.
All right, but here, of course, Crown the Pit, like going into this one, OG and Nongshim to see exactly which of those cards is going to take the Overlord. I like it how they've kind of added some in-game, you know, interfaces to kind of, you know, accentuate some of these games because, again, both of these squads, we knew that this is probably one of the more competitive series going into today.
Exactly, and they already got several titles in their own region. So Nongxin is actually the runner-up from KML, and OG is the 3rd place of IKL Spring 2026.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're not the top dog in their region, but that's why they're in the play-ins. But I do think that when we're talking about the international, like Dao is always a staple. The Nongshim side, generally speaking, you'll always see them as well. So both of these squads understanding what is at stake, continuing on in the play-ins, never easy, as again, you lose twice, you're out, man.
And also speak to the players, actually Haku and Dao, they can be like rivals for such a long time because last time they played against each other in EWC.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of history. They're going to do familiarity, but I think that, you know, going in, especially with the OG lineup, are
इंडिया का मैच फिर से होगा कल
in terms of how they kind of formulated this team. Very different story, but they have a little bit of Dao gets that smite onto the Tyrants, and now with the Raging Sea, they have a little bit of control onto Haku, who's trying to bounce it in. He's going to give up first blood. Dao finding him out.
I do like the way how OG is designing this team fight because we can see Florentino is under such a great pressure because he was like a 1-2. So OG, instead of trying to rescue Ehas, they just make some trade happen.
Oh, but Siri goes all in for Neil. He sacrifices his life. I don't know if that was the greatest trade, but at least he got something on the way out.
I feel like he's saying like, you are looking for a trade, I'm gonna go for the trade.
Yeah, but I mean, diving into 4, probably not the smartest thing. For me, I'm looking to survive though.
Yeah, true. But like, because of the sacrifice that Siri made, it's kind of like even up the pace of the game right now. But OG, because of the tier 1 tower that they already got, so I think like the pushing space, the pushing pace might be a little bit accelerated from now on.
And this is actually what happened in the top lane. The Moonscape Mirage, that's the biggest problem. right? And then the fact that like there was a whole other fight elsewhere, but then like Ehans, he's like, I'm stuck in with you, can't go in, and then you come on out of this one, and you have reinforcements there from the Nongshim side, and it's like it's not even fair.
Yes, and before that skirmishes happened on the top, actually the detail from the minimap is that Florentino, I mean like Ehans already seen that illusion was there for him, so actually he took one step back and telling his team member that you can do the dragon trade, and that's a communication behind the movement that they did.
Yes, and now Nongshim capitalizing on that extra space they have
इंडिया का मैच खत्म हो गया मेरे भाई
taking the top T2 Nongshim right now. This is the way you want to play, especially when you have a little bit of a lead.
Especially when you got higher in your composition. You can always initiate as you wish.
Of course, as well. And now
कैसे हो
onto the side they go, and here they
थोड़ा लेट आ गए भाई तुम लोग
Haku again, not fully committing, which is probably the smarter play in the end.
Exactly. He's trying to poke in a lot of damage towards Nongshim.
Yeah,
and also, like, you can see the positioning of Dao. They are trying to guarantee the priority of the mid lane because they are kind of afraid of Illusion's Haya right now because you can see, like, Haya is hiding his vision.
Yeah.
Like, on the side of OG, they don't know where Illusion is.
Yeah, they don't know, and that's a problem, right? He's like the boogeyman, right? He comes out of the corner, you don't know where he is, and all of a sudden you're in like purgatory into his mirage, if you will. So again, OG understanding that hey, they need 663. He needs to be that forward scout, so nobody gets jumped.
Exactly.
And now it looks like Nongshim back to the jungle they go. They still have the top T1. So in terms of like spacing, they're still fine. But OG, I like the way that they're responding. Understanding that they have a Gudo on this Dao. This is added further pressure. But they actually find Namu, who's playing with fire. He gets caught out. He gets burnt, if you will. The ghost ship is not enough to keep Illusion alive as well. OG finding some pickoffs.
OG is kind of trying to accelerate the game pace because they know that Dao is farmed up so well. So everyone is just pushing forward around this Dao.
Yeah, and no chance. I mean, I think it started with Namu getting a little bit out of position, thinking that he was safe with that heart link, but when you're bursted, you're a very squishy roamer, right?
Exactly, and you mentioned about the shortage of Nongshim because of the idea need someone to pick her up, right? And what the position that Namu was is that he's so far away from neither Arta or Haya.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why the idea is such a great hero, right? It adds all that mobility, plus you can kind of backpack on a teammate like you were talking about, so you have a lot in terms of what she could potentially bring. But now with this 4-2 kill score, it looks like OG have gotten a slight edge. I mean, in terms at least of momentum in this game.
Yes, but actually, if we scrutinize the goal difference, you can see like Retail is weighing the upper hand towards Ehans. So well, Retail used this goal lead to save his team in this mid-game.
Yeah, and it looks like the team fight, we'll find out shortly. The Aerostorm is not really able to connect onto any members of Nongshim here, but they're spacing it out because they know that the Tyrant is going to be started. It looks like Illusion has that Moonscape Mirage, at least for now, locking in. It looks like it's iHounds here. They come out right back onto this one, and it looks like Siri getting a little bit low, needs to be careful, but Namu's off to the side. The Tyrant is going to be started. Siri, though, I think with this HP bar, I don't think he can contest.
And also, that's the reason why we mentioned about the level up who will be the pick for OG, because they are waiting for the team fight after Illusion break out his ulti. They're not looking for skirmishes beforehand, but afterhand.
Yeah, that counter pick has been incredible for them, right? Being able to kind of mitigate, understanding that they're going to be right outside of this one, and even being contested here, Dao with that smite steal.
Exactly, they're trying to put their outside
playing
of
well,
Haya's
you know.
ulti.
I'm waiting for the RNTX matches, guys. Those matches gonna be our best.
Like, you have a huge power pick. The Haya, I mean, at the end of the day, I think even in an ultimate battle, if we ever get there, Illusion will probably be looking for that Haya or the Mai. I think that he's kind of leaned more towards the Haya as of late.
Sure.
All right, and now OG here on this one. It looks like net worth. We're in a 50-50 game. This is the most competitive game we've seen thus far. Can OG find a way to, again, get on top of Illusion, take down Siri in some fashion?
Well, I feel like they can do
OG is a good
push
team.
first, but they need to make sure that they want the team fight won't initiate by Haya without this Agudo.
Okay, and now using that Agudo, as you're talking about, with that Wild Growth, taking the bottom T2, Nongshim have no answers, but they have the Moonscape Mirage. They at least caught a Predator, and if it comes right back out, are they able to blow him up? I don't think he survives. As they do, they're just going to sacrifice him, understanding that, hey, Hans, sorry, brother, you're done.
Sacrifice it is, but the problem is we are heading to 10 minutes mark, and without Florentino being survived, it's going to be Nongshim's time to turn the table around. round, maybe.
Yeah, it's a huge power play. This is a golden opportunity, but Dao still has that smite, right? So Nongshim, if they want to fully contest this, they probably need to control Dao as they go in. The Tyrant is going to be leashed back in.
And we are talking about Alta's ulti. Well, he get nice control upon this Agudo will be the thing to do.
Yeah, the spacing has got to be unreal. Furball goes right back in. The Tyrant is in the mix of all of this. They have a little bit of control onto Rattel, but Siri gets the Tyrant. A nice three-man stun with that Raging Sea, and now they're looking to go for the turnaround. And it looks like OG, yeah, they had a nice stun, but they're not able to find a pickoff.
Yeah, I mean, like, nice control on the side of OG, but the problem is that they got numbers in deficit, and that, I would go the credit to Illusion because of his initiation before the team fight happened, make them outnumbered and let this team fight goes favor to themselves.
Yeah, it started with that, right?
Yes.
And I think that was, I mean, it was very bold, I would say, of OG when you were down a member trying to fight 4 versus 5 into the Tyrant pit. But they thought that, hey, we could just smite it out. But the way that they were able to navigate that, very smartly played by Nongshim, as they looked to go for the initiation. The Ghost Ship locking in, just barely 663, squeezes out of that hole. And now it looks like
So signing off, guys.
This is probably the next big thing. They have Primal Bond.